Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item. Current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education, they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
Hey, mustard on the beat. Oh, deeper rap nigga, he a free throw. Man down, calling ambulance, tell him breathe, ho, breathe, bro. Nail a nigga to the cross, he walk around like Tizo. What's up with these jabroni ass niggas trying to see Compton? The industry can hate me, fuck them all and they mama. How many ops you really gotta? I mean, it's too many options. I'm finna pass on this body, I'm John Stockton. Beat your ass and hide the Bible if God watchin'. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. Certified boogeyman, I'm the one that kept the score with him. Walk him down, whole time I know he got some hoe in him. Pole on him, extort shit, bully death row on him.
Say, Drake, I hear him like I'm young. You better not ever go to cell block 1. To any bitch that talk to him and they in love, just make sure you hide your little sister from him. They tell me Chubb's the only one that got your hand-me-downs, and Party at the party playing with his nose now. And Baca got a weird case. Why is he around? Certified lover boy, certified pedophiles. Wop, 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 dot. Fuck 'em up. Wop, 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 wop. I'm gonna do my stuff. Why you trolling like a bitch? Aren't you tired? Trying to strike a chord is probably A minor. Whoa ha, whoa ha 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 ha.
They not like us. 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 6 times on them. 6 times on them. Blah,
Freaky
blah,
ass nigga,
blah.
you a 69 God.
Freaky ass nigga, he a 69 God. I was giving you ad-lib.
Oh yeah.
Hey, 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 run for your life. Hey, 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 run for your life.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Mm-hmm. He needs Bobby Brown on the remix.
Oh my God. Beautiful. Here we, biracial. Here we go again, my love. You know. They not like us.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Blackest Show About Nothing. It's Jade and XD. Yeah, we're freshly back from Hatechella. It was a good time.
It was.
Happy Juneteenth. It's Black 6'5" here. 366 because it's a leap year.
Hello. Hello. Give us our day.
Exactly.
And whatever the rest of the prayer says.
Yeah, all that. We have a very, very booked and heavy schedule today here on the show. So without further ado, let's get an update on the genocides going on around the country from 2024. James Beard recipient, Jade of all Jade.
Oh my gosh, thank you. What an honor. What an honor. Before I actually start the updates, I have to say the happiest 11th birthday to my child. Happy birthday! The fruit of my loins. I'm just so, let me tell you something. I had the proudest mother moment this week because, you know, we're doing Noah all week. You know what I'm saying? I was like, we can do an activity every day. We're going to do something. So we went skating and to the movies. You know, I took her and mommy daughter. We went to go see Inside Out 2 and, you know, just enjoying my little person, my little crotch fruit. That is not my own term. Shout out to the multiple mom. That's what she calls her children. I was like, I love crotch fruit. But we go skating the other day with my good homegirl Chanel, and she brings her son, and you know, Noah wants to be a big sister real bad, right? So we're walking, we go skating, and then we're gonna walk over and get some ice cream. And we're walking, and every time I pass them or I'm like right by them, I hear Noah. She's like, so the indigenous people, they killed them with poison blankets. And then like a couple seconds later, she turns around. She's like, Ma, how many people did Harriet Tubman free? And I was like, I don't know exactly. I was like, but you know, well, look, she was like, okay, not all of them, right? I was like, not everybody, you know, a handful, but like a significant amount or whatever. She's like, okay. Then a few minutes later, we're in the Carvel, and I hear her, and she's, but this is all to this 6-year-old, mind you, and she's like, so Israel is killing. And I was like, okay. First of all, and then she turns around to me after that, and she's like, Mommy, does Carvel or Cinnabon support the genocide? Do we have to boycott them? And I was like, I don't think they're on the list, but you know, every time she passed McDonald's, she'd be like, boo! So we passed this. So there's this group of these Gen Z students. Everybody's queer. Everybody's fluid. Everybody got pink, purple, green, yellow hair. You know what I'm saying? Buttons all over their clothes. Their sneakers are dirty. I love it. And so at a certain point, I was like, Cookie, you have been preaching to Maxwell for like hours now. I was like, you know, maybe just a teeny break, and the students were like, no, let her talk, because we was over here like, yes. I was like, you know what? And then Maxwell's mother was like, she's like, no, let her do whatever she's doing. I was like, you know what? Let me take it. I wanted to make sure my child wasn't like smothering him with information. But you're right. Let her talk her shit. So I just want to say I am so proud of the human that she wants to be on her own, in that she's taken the information that we've shared with her and all of the feelings that she has and the way that she's moving are her decisions. You know, I tell her like, girl, I'm not buying you Starbucks, but I was like, but I need you to consider that, you know, these brands that are investing into this military complex are part of the problem and obliterating these children and these people, these fathers, these mothers. And so And me just explaining that to her and letting her do what she wants with the information, she has taken it on as her own. And I'm so proud of her. And I'm so grateful that she chose us to come into this world through. And happy birthday. I love you, girl. You're my biggest giant lesson. And I would never, ever redo this in any other kind of way. So...
Yeah. Happy birthday, Noah. I'm so glad you're not whack. You know?
Me too. Shit.
Because there's a lot of whack kids out there. No shade.
And I had to like reserve myself for a little while because I was like, I don't want to be like blindly standing because she's mine. But I was like, nah, you cool. I like you a lot.
Yeah. I'm bangs with you heavy, queen.
Yeah, I'm bangs with you heavy. My ace.
Yeah, because there's just a lot of whack kids out there.
Yeah.
And that's no offense if your kid is whack, but tell your kid to get with the winning team.
It's you probably whack too, so I don't know.
Yeah, like I know.
Every once in a while a child breaks free from their environment, but I mean, if your kid's whack, I'm just saying, take a look at that. Yeah. But get to the rut of the business. But same for us. So we are on day 262 of the current ongoing genocide in Gaza, as well as day 437 of the ongoing genocide in Sudan. Currently, the IOF bombed Hamas Ismail Haniyeh. Oh, I'm not saying that correctly at all. But a Hamas leader, they bombed their home. 11 people were killed. And they are also targeting and killing aid seekers in Khan Yunis. South Lebanon, Israel is using phosphorus bombs on forests. So they're causing fires. They're targeting civil defense crews who are extinguishing the fires. They dropped white phosphorus on 17 plus towns since October, including 5 overpopulated residential areas. And it's continuing to escalate, as well as Palestinian children abductions. That is also on the rise and in the increase, and abductions of Palestinians in general. We're getting a lot of stories of the few hostages that are being released are coming back and talking about the atrocious, awful things that are happening when they are being kidnapped, from sodomy to starvation to sodomy from dogs. So yeah. There is a level of, they are training these dogs to rape these hostages. Yeah. And I'm saying this not to make you all uncomfortable. If you're uncomfortable, then good. You should be uncomfortable, because the people that are having this done to them, the people who are living through this literal hellscape right now, your discomfort is nothing compared to something like that being done to you. And it's a level of sick that we need to know is going on. They are still conducting real estate sales here in the States for people to purchase property on the Gaza Strip. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely asinine, as people are being bombed and shot every day for trying to obtain aid. You all are holding real estate sales of properties on the Gaza Strip, properties that do not belong to you. This is the kind of psychosis that we're dealing with. These people are sick. They are sick people. And so we want to continue to keep ourselves educated, and we have to see the hard things. We have to see the uncomfortable things. In Sudan, the RSF is continuing to shell residential neighborhoods in El Fasher, as well as targeting healthcare facilities. So they recently shelled the only remaining dialysis center in North Darfur State. So, oh my God, around the globe, awful things are happening. Awful things are happening. We have to keep abreast, and we have to keep abreast so we know the ways that we are contributing to these things as well. Y'all's trips to Dubai, when you want to get on them 4-wheelers and you want to, take your pictures and be at Dubai 4 Seasons or whatever the fuck, stunting on niggas, those trips, those types of things are part of what is funding the RSF and killing these Sudanese civilians. And so we have to be mindful and understand the parts that we're playing and continue to keep ourselves educated. In Kenya right now, there's a hashtag that you can look up called the Reject Finance Bill 2024. They are fighting for their rights to not be overtaxed for essential items that are coming into the country, because this is getting ready to put them on a financial scale that will not be sustainable whatsoever. So you need to look into that as well. They're rejecting the Finance Bill 2024 in Kenya. And these are some of the things that are happening around the world that we want to continue to be abreast of.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Thanks for the update.
Yeah.
This update is just as crazy here on stateside. Here in Exceed's Political Chat. And last week we talked about the school boards in Chicago.
Yes.
Shout out to you all, Agents of Chaos, who were even talked about focusing on your own school board elections and stuff like in St. Louis and elsewhere, right? Some hot shit happened in the Bay this past week, and I can not pass it up.
Absolutely.
So Oakland Mayor Sheng Tao had the FBI raid her crib the other day.
Breaking news just a half hour ago. Oakland Mayor Sheng Tao made her very first public comment today about Thursday's FBI raid at her home. She says she is innocent, and she says she had no prior knowledge of any investigation. And she also made an emotional vow to remain in office.
Yeah, and from what we understood...
So let me tell you what happened. So, before I go on, Sheng Tao is shacking up with a black man. So his name is Al Jones, I think.
Oh my God, that is the most nigga ass name.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you the news, and then I'm gonna tell you what I think is happening. Right?
Okay.
Because it's very complicated. So, if Mayor Sheng Tao is up for a recall, there is a group of people helmed by some black folks, a former black woman Supreme Court attorney justice in Oakland, and a couple of other people who are leading this charge for her to be fired and removed from office. The reason why is because they missed an opportunity with the retail theft grant, because they are crime in Oakland has gone up. Okay. Not necessarily for murder, homicides, but robbery and theft.
Okay.
That's because, and that's going up across the nation because, everything's so goddamn expensive, and people also have lost their minds from the pandemic.
Yeah.
And so they fired the police chief, LaRon Johnson, a year ago. Mm-hmm. And so they've been without a police chief. And so this pissed off a lot of people because folks were like, they're a beloved police chief. Why did they get fired? I'm like, I don't know how you
First
could be
of
a
all,
beloved police chief.
that doesn't go together.
So that's what makes me take when these black folks are talking about, taking these things with a grain of salt, because not all skin folk is kinfolk, right? However, that grant was $15 million. And that could have been used towards a bunch of things that Oakland needs, right? So they missed the deadline to file this grant.
Oh my God.
The mayor was like, oh, so he missed the grant. So there also, when she fired the police chief, there was no grounds for firing him. Mm-hmm. There was nothing on the ethics committee table to hey girl, you might want to look at this so that you might want to table him or whatever, fire, right? Mm-hmm. She lied about, or was not very truthful about, declaring a state of emergency in the need of a police chief. So she never really called one for the state to administer one. Mm-hmm. And also, a lot of people are upset. This recall group is upset that they lost the Oakland A's. However, sports in cities are a very complicated thing, right? Sometimes they bring revenue to the city. Other times they deter from other things like homelessness and other programs and things like that, right?
Like how they usher in them, sweeping them people out of LA because of the Olympics.
Right. So this past week, Mayor Sheng Tao was raided by the FBI and the United States Postal Service and the IRS.
You mean exactly. We must do as the guy advised. We must combine our powers. Let's do it. Let our powers combine.
Which means when the United States Postal Service gets involved, that means that there's some money shit going on, and
some
that
federal
means that
shit.
Some federal shit. So what happened was everybody's being tight-lipped of, oh no, we don't understand why. And then right after, her house gets raided and she goes missing.
What?
She pops up 3 days later at a press conference.
Oh no!
It was like, I am being bamboozled. I'm being attacked by rich conservatives, even though they all have issues with the government and city council and ethics and all that good stuff. None of the people that she is accusing of having issues with the government, none of them are under FBI investigation, by the way. And so right after that press conference, her legal counsel quit because she did not inform them that she was about to get on the mic and be like, da 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 da, which lets me also know that some shit she's about to go down with a sinking ship.
Wait, you said which mayor of where?
Oakland, California. So, remember how I brought up Al Jones earlier?
The nigga who's living in her house.
Right. So this woman who was her friend, this black woman who used to work with her on her campaign and stuff, went on record on ABC 7 Bay Area. And she did an interview where she was talking about how Al was promising pay to play type of things, meaning like, if you donate to this campaign, I'll make sure that my girl, Sharon or Shang, whatever, will get you a job at the office.
Nigga shit.
Exactly. Also, there's the famous Duong family who is at play here. The Duong family owns California Waste Management Systems.
Mafia.
And they have a contract with Oakland's government to do the recycling and whatever. And so, right. So they're trying to figure out where there's some campaign funds or where her money is being funneled in and out of. And so there was one point they had this partnership with Vietnam, and they did some kickbacks where they paid for a trip for a whole bunch of niggas to go to Vietnam. Right, because the Vietnamese Business Coalition in Oakland are trying to build bridges across the water and blah 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 blah. Okay. And the recall group was like, well, what does that have to do with us in Oakland? So I bring all this up to say the recall, Alameda County officially put the recall on the ballot this November. So please pay attention to what may or may not happen to the current mayor of Oakland. If she's on the right side of things, if, who is going to be the interim, if fired, would be the president of city council. I'm not sure who that is in Oakland at the current time. But that will
Chinese.
Yeah, that will impact a lot of things. We talk about local governments and local elections, and mayoral elections are important, right? Because they also oversee the police. So, you want to make sure that wherever you're, and when we see that happening in New York City with Eric Adams, how he's building Cop City, or the mayor in Atlanta who's trying to attempt
Where the
to build
fuck
Cop
did
City
Eric Adams come from? I do not remember
He used
Eric
to be a
Adams
police
running. No, I
chief.
know that. I don't remember him running.
Yeah, I don't recall either, because that would have been when I feel like I was living there at the time, right? Because who was before?
No, I think Eric Adams got in office 2022.
Then who was before that? The white man with the black wife?
Bloomberg, yeah.
No,
I mean, not Bloomberg. What's his name? De Blasio.
The one, yes,
De Blasio.
De Blasio.
Yeah, the one who changed. And I'd rather him come through and fuck up all the traffic lights again. At least that nigga was a white man who act like he was on the right side of things. Act like it. This nigga,
black kids. He knew.
Eric Adams is a black nigga, and that nigga be at the feds. Like he popped up literally like Sexy Red. Like, I don't know where he came from. I don't remember him running at all. And he's here to just ruin things all over this city.
Yeah. Eric Adams, former police chief, I want to say.
Yes, and he also he just passed the bill or approved the bill for landlords to be able to increase the rent. I think on a 2-year lease or a 1-year lease, 2.75%. One of them is a 2.75 and one is a different percentage. But he just approved that for the land, for the rent stabilization. There's not going to be much rent stabilization unless you're already in a rent stabilized building. I fucking hate him.
Yeah. So this election in Oakland, pay attention to what's going on in the mayoral candidacy, because it's some wild shit. Every day is something new. This all happened in the last week. So since we recorded last week, the next day, all this news came out, and I was like, whoa.
Well, as of a day ago, her chief of communications quit.
See?
I'm looking. Hold on. Her chief of communications quit.
I know the council quit right after that press conference, because they were like, girl, who the fuck?
So her chief spokesman resigned. Yeah. Her chief of communications abruptly quit.
When people start jumping ship that quickly,
some shit ain't right.
That means some shit ain't right. Because if people firmly believed and was on your side and they believe they did nothing wrong, then they wouldn't quit like that.
Now, is it really trying to pin this on this nigga Al Johnson?
Yes, because of that pay to play thing that I told you about. Because it works in politics as well. They met when he was a chief of staff, and he was a chief of staff of another congressperson, and she was the intern. Oh. And so he has some political acumen and stuff. He's in politics himself.
Okay. Oh, so
but
he's
you
a shifty
also
nigga
can't.
now.
Yeah, but you also can't promise niggas jobs based off your girl winning an election or not, right? Like, if you donate to the campaign, to our lifestyle or whatever.
Wait, Justin Johnson?
It's Al. I want to say it's Al. It's like Jones, because I know Jones was the particular name, and I watched the interview with the black lady today.
Here we go. Okay. Andre Jones.
Even blacker.
Yeah, it is. What the fuck? He lived there with Tao and their 2 children. Oh, they had 2 kids together.
Oh, I didn't know they had kids, but they're not married. Which,
Fast. Yeah, we got to see what's going on with that. But definitely, what you were talking about last week with the school boards, importante. I called XD because I was on the phone with my homegirl, and she told me how her son had some issues in school with some unfair treatment, and she ended up having to go all the way to the higher ups of the school board in order to get some things rectified. So there is actually a podcast in the Houston area. We want to have this host on, actually. It's called Ridgemont's 4 Finest. And she passionately speaks about education, the school boards, and all of those things. But to your point last week, it is very important that we are up to date and in the know as to what's going on with the school boards locally and our local government, because that's what affects our kids and affects our immediate lives.
Yeah. Yeah. But anywho, let's take a break.
Yeah.
And we'll get to what we're getting to today. But tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. We're here every week, every Friday. Subscribe to us on Patreon. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And check the links in the description box wherever you're listening for the Discord, where all the true agents of chaos live and reside and thrive. Let's take a break and we'll be back after these messages. Hit it, Claude.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
I have friends who had psycho roommates who would steal their stuff or, come home just screaming at them.
Hopefully that won't be the case for the freshmen you can spot a mile away at UCLA, bags in hand, trying to navigate.
And we're back. How was your week?
Oh, it was good. It was, it's been Noah. It's been Noah since I got back from my trip. So, just trying to catch up with the family and spending time with her, trying to honor her 11th birthday. Oh, my God. So, yeah, it's been good. It's been a good week. Summertime, we had that heat wave. I think it's the first time that I sweat under my titties. So, I'm getting to a particular age. That's fun. How was yours?
Yeah. It was okay. This is my final week of dentistry.
Oh, yes, it is. Thank God. Yeah. Kicking that bitch to the curb. Well, not fully, actually. No.
So, by next week I should have, very much Nini. They're done. So, I'm excited.
Wait, have you been flossing and using your water pick?
Yes.
Very good.
I have.
Because the agents of chaos got in that ass.
yes. And I was like, you know what? I can't even be mad.
No.
You are absolutely right.
No.
You're absolutely right. But yes, I've flossed and I used the water pick. Because if I did it, my dentist definitely was like, hey.
You're spending so much money in here. What?
Yeah.
Maintain it.
Yeah. Because it's making my job even more difficult if you don't. So I'm like, okay, that's fine.
You're right.
But yes, my week was cool. Nothing really happened, just work, and it's been hot.
Yeah.
It's been too hot to do things.
Yeah.
And so I've been in the house.
Oh,
wait, I forgot.
What?
Go ahead.
I just wanted to shout out Ben Books and More because I went to a awesome Juneteenth event that they threw. And so that was really awesome. They did it in, hold on. I want to make sure that I am putting all the correct information out there. This was on Saturday. Yes, with Nicole A. Taylor. Nicole is author of a couple of different cookbooks, actually, cultural cookbooks, and very involved in telling our stories through literature and food. And so they did a collaboration with Nicole A. Taylor, which was really awesome. They brought out Sugar Hill Creamery, which did a custom flavor for her book, Redbirds and Watermelons. So that was dope. So I just want to shout them out as they are doing really important work in the Black culinary literature world.
Yeah. I did forget. I did something. I forgot. I've almost damn near had heat stroke.
Yes, you went to the food fest.
Yes, I went to the food fest with Chris Rogers and Dr. John Paul.
Yes. How was that?
We had a wang dang doodle. It was just too damn hot. It was so bad, the heat. But let me tell you about Dr. John Paul because they posted about it so I could big them up. So I can't wait till I get to this point in life. But Dr. John Paul was like waiting in line as we're entering, and they're telling us like what's going on with them or whatever. And they're like, you know, I had to curse this bitch out about buying a home. And I was like, bitch, you just buying a house like today? They were like, yeah.
What? Congratulations.
Yeah. And so like, it was too hot, so we ended the thing like, and I'll tell you another day what'll happen at Foodie Land because we have so much to do today. But like, we left, we go home. By the time we get home, John texts us and was like, "Hey, okay, so I got a house now."
That's incredible. In this economy, that's incredible.
I was like, work, bitch. So congrats.
Yes, congratulations, millennial royalty.
Yeah.
For doing the impossible.
Right. Inspiration to us all. Because me and Chris were like, damn, bitch, like.
I know, because me and
we
Tristan
need to get our shit together.
We've been sitting here like, what the fuck are we doing? We got to get the fuck out of New York.
We're moving to Kansas. Gotta be, because like, I don't know where else.
We gotta get the fuck out of this world, honestly, because the ocean is 6 degrees too hot, which is a very big deal. And the coral reefs are bleaching out. They are killing themselves. It is awful because the shit is too hot. And you motherfuckers can't stop doing awful, wretched shit to the earth. Oh, God.
But anywho, yes, I did that. Foodie Land was great. I had a big ass like bottle container of like tea. I had amazing chicken. I had bread pudding made by I think I told you the bread pudding thing. It's a black owned. It was great. I had Taiwanese popcorn chicken. It was fabulous.
Yes.
But it was also it was also too hot to thoroughly enjoy everything.
Yeah.
So it was just, you know, they need to have this shit in like December, like the cold, like
especially for
chilly.
LA.
It's Los Angeles. It doesn't get cold. Well, it does get cold, but you know, for that, you know what I mean? But anywho, today. We are covering Inmate to Roommate Season 2, episodes 1 through 4. You'll get them free here, everywhere, you know, right now. And then moving forward, the rest will be on Patreon.
Yep.
So just like we do
Love
any other Matt Sharp show, because I did not know this was a Matt Sharp show until the end of the first episode.
I should have known.
And I said, and because after the first, when the white spider monkey showed up and it just said Matt Sharp, I was like, how did I fucking know?
I should have known. I missed that myself, but I should have known. They even used the same Love After Lockup sound bite.
Yeah, they do. And I should have known then, but this is, I realize why they gave us mid-ass love during lockup, because this right here
nigga, this is life during lockup. Like
this is Emmy award-winning programming.
Woo, them demons do their very good work with the camera, I tell you.
Yeah, they do. Again, we want to work with you. I mean, we could dance with the devil. It's fine. You know,
tango, nigga, I'll crip walk with you. Like, come on.
I need to be a part because this is great.
Yeah,
I need to be where Joe and Rich are at because we got full production apart. Like,
wait, before we get into this, we have to pay bills, and then because we did. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
When he gets out, he needs a place to stay. He doesn't have another option.
I'm doing this piece. I want to change the system.
Somebody has to take the risk.
I don't want to mess this opportunity up. If he does drugs, he's out.
What couple? What group would you like to start out with?
Ooh. Do we want to go black or do we want to go trash?
I want to end with Veda and Annalisa.
Okay.
So you can get.
So let's start off with
Actually, I don't know who I want to end with. It's either white man with the trade or
wait, because Okay, let's start off with them.
Okay.
With
David and the Trade.
Zionist and the Trade.
And Aaron.
And they're very strange energy. I thought it was me. I was like, is it me? No. Do I sexualize things too much?
Right, because I couldn't decide if they went on a date, if they was dating, what was going on.
When they was coming in the house, I was like, okay, yeah, y'all work on prison for together, but I don't know. I'm not the radar. Something's pinging, and I don't know what it is.
Pride month. Antennas are.
Yeah, let's go with David and Aaron.
Okay, so yes, we have White David and Aaron the Trade. So their story takes us to Minneapolis. David is a 37-year-old social studies teacher, a white man, and it's the first day of summer, and Aaron is about to move in. And so Aaron is 46, very handsome, by the way, serving 2.5 years for sale of a controlled substance, theft, drug possession, and evading arrest. He was selling meth,
and high speed chasing with the cops.
And high speed, a lot of meth convictions here on this show.
Yes.
So Aaron tells us that he has struggled with rules over the years, and so he's going to really try this time. He has 2 daughters that he really wants to mend his relationship with this time around. He's getting older, and niggas want to amend things, right?
Jewish Jay-Z is very big into social justice. That's who he is. Because that fucking laugh, he's like,
That's funny that you said that in more ways than one. Based off,
what? Because they're both possible Zionists and they're. But what?
Because Jay-Z lost his mind talking about I'm gonna raise money to donate for kids to get to private schools and abandoned public schools in Philadelphia.
When did he say that?
Like last week or 2 weeks ago.
See, this is why I be in world news, and because Swizz Beatz and Timbaland got on a fucking boat with Elon Musk. This is why I can't with these niggas. This is why I can't with these niggas.
The tanning of America. Listen.
Ruined
everything.
Antoinette said it perfectly. Black capitalism is not going to save us. So this is not what we need to be attaining to. You know what I'm saying? Comfort, sure. Black capitalism, like straight up and down rich shit, it never is going to fare well, because when 2 niggas, one who screams all over a beat and another one that likes to use all kinds of sounds, get on a boat with a motherfucking Elon Musk, y'all don't give a shit about nothing no more. You have no concept of reality whatsoever any longer. You're no longer a nigga from the Bronx and a nigga from Virginia. You're no longer that. Anyway, Jewish Jay-Z is very big into social justice and prison reform. And so that is his reasoning for bringing Aaron into the home.
And big is an understatement. I'm
minimizing that significantly.
So I was very confused because it goes on like David doesn't know much about Aaron at all.
No.
He doesn't know his charges or anything, but he's just really super optimistic about helping people, which we find out later why.
Yeah.
And, he makes this assumption, which is not untrue, where he's like, we have to help people in this world. It's just a matter of the scale of how you do it, which is commendable until. So Aaron gets out, but what leads more to the confusion is that they've been talking for 2 years and they know nothing about each other. However,
Aaron has no clue what David does for a living. Nothing.
No, but then I'm like, is this a romantic thing? Because I'm like, what do y'all talk for 2 years for and don't know anything about one another? What did y'all chat about?
Prison reform.
Which, Travell said something. We were on a panel once together, and they said something so
Travell.
profound. They were like, I'm not trying to write about the struggle of my life. Like,
no,
I hope some deity takes over for me, but I'm not trying to talk about the struggle all the live long day.
No.
And this is what happens with David and Aaron, the trade.
And this is where white people got to get a fucking grip, because we don't have to do all that you got to do. Let's be very clear. Put that in your spirit and tattoo it there. We are not responsible for all the shit that you're responsible for.
Yeah. So, like, they leave in the jail. He picks him up. David picks him up in his Ford Focus or whatever the fuck. And so they're driving, you know, odd couple, whatever. So, you know, Aaron is talking about, like, how, you know, like, the struggles of being in prison or whatever. And, like, he was like, I don't even have fucking pockets.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have any, like, I haven't had bacon.
He
like,
said they gave us maternity jeans, nigga. Like,
yeah. And David's response to this, like, it was fucking going to a bar and going to, like, perform karaoke. David goes, well, you know, there's a protest down the road. You know, we can just pop up and, you know, show niggas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, show face. You know what I'm saying? Do a walkthrough. And Aaron is like,
I don't have pockets, bro.
I don't even. Yes, I want to wash my nuts. I got stuff to do. I just got out of prison 15 minutes ago, and I'm trying to enjoy this omelet with an extra side of bacon. Like, I don't want to go to that today. Well, Jewish Jay-Z gets upset,
offended.
He's like, he's not down with the struggle like I thought he was. All while he was in prison, we talked about criminal justice work. I guess he's just not who I. Calm your fucking cojones.
Right. They get back to the crib and it's like Black Lives Matter, just like
no, nigga, it is fucking Black Panthers headquarters.
Yeah, headquarter in this white man's, and he also refers to everything as we. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, we have, like, we can provide things for you. So I'm like, who else lives in this home? But it's really, and Aaron was like, stop saying that. It's just you.
Him and his laugh.
Yeah.
And he got file cabinets. Well, it's Huey Newton on the wall in the frame. You know how people be having Obama frame? He got Huey Newton in the wall in the frame. It's Panthers all over the place. It's prison reform. It's fire and hell. It's all kinds of signage everywhere. Yeah.
Everywhere. Gosh, like, I don't know if this is like a kink for him or anything, but it's like, this is.
Well, we find out
and
why.
Even fast forward, even if this was for him to atone, this is not how you do this correctly. But
well, I don't really.
He's not doing anything wrong until the preview that I saw.
This is what I was like. I'm not mad at your file cabinets and your obsession. If your obsession is this, right? Like, yes, you should be obsessed with the liberation of Black people, especially those that have been wrongfully incarcerated. Like, that's what you need to dedicate your white ass years and efforts and energy to do, right? But so. Next episode, Aaron wakes up feeling good, okay? He's like, bacon galore, I'm having it every fucking day. This nigga wants all the he got bacon and steak and all kinds of breakfast.
I mean, he a gym, like, he fit. Like,
yeah,
protein.
You're right, he is fit. David, Jewish Jay-Z, wants to have a conversation about, like, the standards of living and the house and all of that, right? So he sits them, they're sitting down for breakfast, and he's also concerned about how Christian Aaron is, which was the second red flag for me after him being upset about him not wanting to go to a protest immediately straight out of prison. So I was like,
again, this brought me to, well, what the fuck did y'all talk about? There's only so much of the struggle y'all could have over 30 to 40 minutes of conversation.
What did any of these people talk about? Because nobody did these house rules over the phone or the video chat before they did this shit, this interesting shit that they've done. Now, granted, listen, I'm not even gonna call it noble, because half of you all are doing this shit for the wrong reasons, as we will talk about. But some of them are doing it for the right reasons, right? Because those who are incarcerated have a higher chance of recidivism and like success and integration back into outside world and society when they have a stable environment to go to and they have support behind them. And that's why the majority of them end up right back in prison, because that's not what our society lends to. So I really feel like Jewish Jay-Z he thinks he's doing this for the right reason, but he's still being very white. And all of the issues that he speaks about in a few minutes that we'll talk about are coming through in his little actions. So Aaron is like, how come I need a lease? I have no security here, like whatsoever. And he's like, yeah, that's on purpose.
And just drops it. He doesn't fully explain why or anything like that.
He was like, if we have an issue and I got to kick you out, I have to make sure I'm protected. So you can't have a lease right now until I figure out what's what.
Although we learned, I don't know if Minnesota has the same squatters' rights deal, but remember that documentary we saw?
Roommate from Hell or whatever.
Hell, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So next day they go on a date.
They go on a paddle boat ride to get to know one another more.
Yeah. Aaron the trade, he struggled with drugs for a long time. He is
20
Papa
years.
is in recovery.
Yeah,
right?
forever.
He needs to be in a meeting that, first of all, no one's ever addressing this, and this is the problem that David refuses to. He's so happy to collect a nigga or whatever.
Yes.
And his adopt a Negro program. And he refused to address some of the issues that brought Aaron to the prison system in the first place, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they go out in the water in a 2-seater boat. They're let me tell you about my black friend and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Rolling. And out of nowhere, literally left the goddamn field.
I used to be a racist.
Quite ashamed about. I'm a white guy from a rural area. And, when I was between the ages of 13 to 15, I was quite a racist person. Maybe even older. And,
No exaggeration is exactly how it happened.
Yeah.
You know how I got into this stuff? No, what happened? Well, I used to be incredibly racist.
I was so racist. It was crazy.
and he explains, I wasn't like a conservative outlaw racist. I was, a liberal racist. I'm here for freedom, but from a distance.
Yeah. He was like, I love your black life until it's in mine.
Yeah.
So
and he says that's how he was raised, but then but he always goes and says that his family wasn't racist. But I'm like, but they were racist.
He keeps contradicting himself. And then he also tells us at the top of all of this too, that Minnesota itself is very passive aggressive. So I think that was him. I think this is kind of a callback. Yeah. Or a warning that he too is passive aggressive. And he once upon a time was passively aggressively racist.
Yeah. And so Aaron is like, so wait.
Right. While we're on this boat in the middle of this green water,
yeah, you shouldn't tell a nigga that you racist that on a boat. You know what I mean? That's a lot of cellular PTSD. You know what I mean?
So AA Rod is like, so are you still racist? And he's like, no, I'm past that. I mean, I got a little bit, sprinkles. But
I'm still unlearning. I got still got a lot of
I got
shit
work
to
to
unlearn.
do. He's like, but there's some sprinkles, but no, for the most part, I'm not racist anymore. Aaron is like, okay, so am I your blind side? Am I your charity case? You got me up in here, so you feel good about yourself, or you feel guilty? You know what I'm saying? So I'm your atonement. He's like, no, none of that.
Definitely he is.
Definitely both of those.
All of those things. This is adopt a nigga program.
Okay.
Because he wants to adopt more Negroes into the house.
He does.
He wants to be a white savior so he can atone for not being racist. Even though this is racist.
Yeah.
He refuses to see this.
Yes. No, I'm not racist anymore. Okay, I'm a little bit racist.
Yeah. Like, I was like, this is beyond any type. This is what I told you when I called you. I was like, this is new shit. We have never experienced on this before.
We asked for it. We manifested new chaotic shit, and we got it, nigga.
But and there's 9 couples, because I know there's even more coming because we're about to get rid of one.
Oh, yeah.
Because they couldn't last 4 episodes. God damn.
Which I knew it.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's move on to him.
Well, let's take a break.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll move on to the next couple. Hit it, Claude.
Couple.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The most political of Sophocles' work, it sees the protagonist disobey her uncle and the play's antagonist, King Creon, to bury her brother, all while grappling with life's written and unwritten rules. Konstantinos Bougiotis plays Creon.
And we're back. We're discussing Inmate to Roommate season 2. You can watch it on Thursdays on A&E. Check your local listings.
Or on the app, or you could purchase it on YouTube or whatever. So we're gonna move on to Daniel and Kathy, who are blindsiding Devin.
Timothy McVeigh.
Oh, I called him Charlottesville. I was like, Tiki Torch. Okay.
Yeah. And Daniel looks like that one Latino actor that was in Die Hard with a Vengeance. I can't think of his name.
I said he looked like
a cop.
The one from Criminal Minds.
Yes.
Yes. I think his name is David. Yeah. I said the same thing. So Devin, aka Charlottesville, is 24 years old, from Colorado. He's been in jail for 3 years for burglary, trespassing, auto trespassing, and theft. And he is going to be moving to Gainesville, Texas with Daniel and Kathy. Again, Daniel looks like, what's his face from Criminal Minds, who got replaced by Gabriel. Or what's this? What y'all know who I'm talking about? He came like season 2 or 3. And Kathy looks like she works at Tuesday Morning.
Yeah, she a beekeeper.
Yeah, she is white. So Devin doesn't have a relationship with his mom. His grandparents cannot take him in, and that is his connection to Daniel and Kathy because they're friends with his grandparents, Bud and Penny. So Daniel is going to be driving back from Colorado to pick Devin up. He's going to fly to Colorado, pick Devin up, and then they're going to drive Devin's car back to Texas. Now, his wife is very concerned because Daniel has had quite a number of health issues. He's had a quadruple bypass, brain surgery, and congestive heart failure. So she is worried about him driving.
My note says, oh my God, he's going to die on this show.
I know. And we find out, it's because this nigga used to big use meth and coke and was an alcoholic. He used to have a grand time. And him and Kathy met in a bar. But he's been clean since October of '89 and completely turned his life over to evangelical Christ.
Yes. Texas Christ.
Yes. Yes. So Devin has a sister, Carissa. Devin is Charlottesville, remember. Carissa is concerned with the age gap of Daniel and Kathy. And
Rachel McAdams.
Yes.
I was like, oh, it's Regina George up this bitch. Okay.
He can't live with her because she has 2 small children. And she's like, I'm not exposing them to his possible bullshit. I know this nigga well. Can't happen. So Daniel and Kathy are already on guard because they're like, none of his family will let him live with them. But, you know, Daniel is very much like, the Lord has guided my hand to save this young man. Kathy is like, I don't trust this shit, but the Lord, you know, has said that my husband is my head and I got to listen to him. So, right, exactly. You know, that's what they're on. So, when Daniel goes to Colorado to go pick Devin up, you know, he goes to Carissa's house first. He's like, we got to search the car. because we got to make sure this nigga don't have no needles, no nothing that he's waiting on when he gets out. You know, people like to stash things. So we want to make sure he don't have stuff stashed away, which he was not. Exactly.
Because at first I was like, damn, Daniel. Like,
right.
Damn, that's fucked up. Give him a chance.
No.
No.
And even when Carissa came at him, I was like, yeah, but no. Episode 2. So, I can tell Papa Daniel got very busy with the narcotics by how hard he leans into the Lord. I get it. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
So,
that and how many times he's probably fucking died on a table.
Hello,
like,
you know they had to do that to that nigga multiple times. They had to put 2 irons to the chest and woof that nigga a lot. When he told him how many things have happened to him, I was like,
he's had polio, cancer,
me big dysentery,
cholera. Like he has had it all.
He had them crutches that old girl had from motherfucking, what is it? Save the Last, Love Me. What is it? All of that.
He's had every.
He's had a time. Everything.
He's had a hysterectomy too.
He
Shit,
has.
goddamn it.
And a partial. And got his tubes tied.
He's had every procedure.
So, Devin gets out. He got a lot of new tattoos in jail. His Got Milk tattoo had the nerve to be a very decent quality.
I was not mad at that or the Medusa one on his other leg. I was that is very good.
Prison tattoos have come the fuck up. Are they giving them electric toothbrushes now or what?
They are. Because they have internet and they have cable and then they have cell phones. They're on TikTok. Did you see that video on Reels where this nigga was recreating the Back on 74 routine?
No.
Back on 74.
Did you see what I posted about the inmates at? I think they were at Rikers. But I could be wrong. Who put on the Broadway performance?
Oh, the sun kisses my skin, and I ask the Lord to take away my sins. And one day, if I keep on praying, then the Lord will let me.
No.
We'll talk about that. So anyway, so the tattoo game in prison has come up from what niggas used to use safety pins and ink, you know, from what I knew before.
Oh, yeah.
They've come a long way. But Devin acknowledges Charlottesville. He acknowledges how meth had him loving chaos and how it had him thinking he was Spider-Man. He'd be running from police and scaling buildings and general crackhead behavior. So we also find out that parole gave him a couple extra days to spend with his family in Colorado before he has to report down to Texas, which was a switch up on Daniel because they were supposed to like get a good night rest, get on the road.
Dialysis.
Okay, in 5 minutes. And Lord knows if he does not get to dialysis and chemo at the same time, what's going to happen? So
okay. Communication.
While they have a CAT scan going and an MRI. And they're dressing his wounds. Okay, this nigga had appointments at the hospital. He had to get back for it. And that's why Kathy spawned the nuke on the phone. He called, he's like, so Charlottesville got a couple extra days, so he wants to spend it with his sister. No, fuck that nigga. You are going to fall apart immediately if you don't get back here. She was spawning nukes. So he flies back and Devin, aka Charlottesville, is going to drive back on his own, which sounds like a really bad idea.
Oh, big, awful idea.
So episode 3, which is where I think it originally happened, was on the, but
me too.
So episode 3, Daniel goes back. Devin's gonna drive himself back. He has until the end of the day tomorrow to check in with his PO in Texas, and it's an 11-hour drive from Colorado. So his sister gives him chores while she's gone, right? While he's spending time at the crib and he said, I owe her. Like, she held me down. You can tell his sister is like a second mom. She takes care of him. She looks out for him. She probably has more patience than what his mother has since she don't deal with him at this point. And he's out there cutting the grass, doing a terrible job. his ex calls him to try to woo him to her, but he's like, I don't know if that's a good idea because that's where I'm gonna get the shit from. I actually think he made a pit stop when he left town, and that's where he got the shit from. But anyway, so he gets on the road. His sister comes home. He doesn't cut the grass fully. She goes off on him. She accuses him of using drugs. He's like, this is why people use drugs, because people like you accuse us of using drugs. And she's like, yeah, nigga, no, you've been chaotic your whole life. I need to know. I was not here to monitor you. I need to know. Production asked him if he was using drugs, and I believe he was fully lying and says no.
Oh, yeah, because he was so like, LOL, no.
No. So he gets on the road to drive to Texas, and what happens? His Ford Bronco starts to overheat. And so he got to call a PO, make sure he's not going to violate parole because this is the very first visit. The fucking car is like smoking like me. But he ends up, I don't know, putting some water on it. It probably needed some oil in it. It had been sitting for all that time, and he gets on the road. 9 hours later, he makes it to Texas. They sit down for breakfast, and Kathy and Daniel are going over the rules of the house, which are no women in the house, no pornography, no lying, and no using. And so he feels like they're trying to isolate him from everything, but they are trying to help him because if he uses, he's gonna be out of there. Well, that nigga didn't make it past breakfast. He left the house. They didn't see him again. And the police called. He got locked up and they found powder and needles in his car. And that's probably going to be the end of Charlottesville.
Yeah, because he was like, those rules are too hard. And his first thing was like, so if I break the rules, I'm out of here. And Kathy was like, let's not even discuss that. Like, yeah, let's just, you can do it. You'll be all right.
And he was like, cool, I'm going to break the rules.
Mm-hmm. And then bam, in jail.
Yep. Had a nice setup too. They gave this nigga his own refrigerator. His own fucking fridge. That's special. Mm-hmm.
I feel like it was a whole casita situation. So like, you know, he had his own space to just be.
He did. I don't think
it was to just.
I think he just should probably share the kitchen with them. But yeah, they was like, you can store your own food though, nigga. Like, set him up, and he got himself in. He did not last 24 hours.
But that was them.
Yeah.
Let's take another break, and we'll be back with more Inmate to Roommate here on JNXT. Hit it, Claude.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
4291? Really? Yes, of course. Yes, thank you very much. 3 o'clock. Yes. Yes, thank you very much indeed.
And we're back. We're still talking about Inmate to Roommate, season 2. Let's talk about Cindy and Jennifer. Cindy, non-traditional spelling. She is from Vining, Minnesota. I thought this was very shady. She's from a population of 62.
She's 56.
And she's 56. They have a statue of a foot in the town, and she's also missing a foot.
I'm not laughing at her missing a foot. She made the joke. She said, she goes, population 62. When you get to the town, you're going to see the statue of the big right foot. It is legit a statue of a big right foot. She said, turn right and then visit the girl who has no right foot.
Yeah.
The town of Vining in Otter Tail County doesn't even have 100 residents, but it has more than its share of characters. Every year, it seems, another 2 or 3 will pop up somewhere around town. animal.
So she, she has the sugar and she wasn't really taking care of herself and she had to get her foot amputated.
At the top of COVID.
Yeah, the top of COVID. And she's boldly stating that she's taking in a prisoner because she needs help around the house.
Yeah, she needs a peasant girl.
Yeah, she needs a slave.
Yeah.
And is easily figured out in the first 3 minutes of being on
We
screen
want you
with
to
her.
dust the chimneys out and you're going to beat the rugs. Make sure you change the linens.
Yeah. I thought I was going to be on Cindy's side until I wasn't. So
Based off the joke, I thought so. Because the first thing that came to my mind was the only thing fake about me is this.
This. Yeah, me too. And then no. Then we met Jennifer Siwa.
Oh my God, she does look like JoJo Siwa.
Yeah. Between her and Ronda Rousey. Like they all look, yeah. So she's 34, going on 48, and she's serving 7 months for meth possession, sale of a controlled substance.
Yeah.
She's been in and out of jail for the last decade or so, and she has 2 kids that she too wants back when she gets her life together.
Yes.
Their mutual connection is through this man named Richard. Richard met Jennifer about a decade ago while working on her car. And Richard and Cindy are just friends, have been friends for the last 20 years or so.
I think Richard and Jennifer have used together maybe a time or two.
Yeah, or they've gone drinking together, I can tell you that.
Oh, that for certain.
So Cindy's friend Richard asked Jennifer to move in because she needs a place to stay, right? So Cindy kind of already has like a peasant friend named Angela, who looks like JoJo from The Facts of Life.
Yes.
And so this total side note, may or may not be unrelated. I learned the term stone top when it comes to lesbians.
What?
So you know how I said strap captain the other day?
Like a stone cold top. Like I'm a stone cold top.
Yeah, like the trade, but like lesbian.
Right, like I
learned it from these white lesbians the other day.
Peg you to death. Okay.
Yeah, like they, they have their own personal pots for their dicks and things. Like
I like that. You should have a dick pot.
A stone top is like a pure, like a touch me not kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Copy. Say less.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So anywho, Angela's coming over to help get the house ready. Let me tell you, Cindy she needs to be on Hoarders.
Yeah.
Or something else because that home is disgusting.
I knew it smelled when I seen it. And so
I smell-o-vision is not a thing, but I smelt it when it came on. I was like, I know what this smell is.
Because that chihuahua be pooping and peeing all in that house. And then also it smells like eggs, but then also it smells like cigarettes. And then it smells like body because
and the walls are like marred. So that's how I was like, I know this is just a dirty home.
Yeah.
Like it's dirty.
Neighbors who live on this Koreatown street in Los Angeles are tired of this hoarding eyesore and even more fed up with the unwanted pests it attracts.
We used to not have any problems with bugs in the past, but at least in the past 2 years, we've been seeing more and more bugs.
Yeah.
And so Angela comes over and we learn very quickly that Cindy has no clue about how the criminal justice system works or anything
or
about
drugs
Jennifer.
In general.
Or drugs. Like what did you do in life? Cindy looks like the white girl you'd probably buy weed off of in like undergrad at some point in time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, the crazy white girl who sells weed.
This is gonna be problematic, but it is what it is. Cindy is part of, outside of just our awful, atrocious acts, Cindy is part of why the outside world looks at America the way that they do.
Oh, yeah. Like, if you, she is an American stereotype.
yeah, like all you all eat is Snickers and McDonald's and you talk like this. She don't talk like that, but it's just every stereotype about America, I feel like Cindy embodies.
Yes. Yes. Even down to the entitlement.
Mm.
So, Angela's trying to tell her, like, bitch, this is not no walk in the park. You need to, like, get to know her because regardless if you live in this nasty ass house or not, like, you don't know this stranger. Like,
and not only that, we live in a town with population 62. She was like, bitch, there's only but 5 activities you're going to get sick of before somebody's like, I'm bored and I'm going to go use drugs, which, you know, having a secluded environment in that way can be a big trigger.
Yeah.
Idle time and not having much to do, it can be a trigger for folks.
It is for everybody. When people idle minds lead to awful things. That's why we have wedges. So like, did you see that Telfar? It has a partnership with Melissa's now. So now
they've been had that.
Melissa's.
Okay, they've been had that.
Idle minds, boredom. See what happens.
Oh, I own a pair of Melissa's.
I know you do, but that's. I'm sure you have Chinese slippers too.
No, not anymore, nigga. Not since 2002. Fuck you.
You have to say, because when I bring back my Von Dutch hat, you better not say boo about it.
No, I'm saying everything. I'm saying boo by
or my Prada American Cup shoes.
Yeah. Oh, they still wear those in some places.
Harlem, I know.
Yeah.
So, anywho, her and Richard go up to the prison or to the jail, and Jojo Siwa gets out, right? And they head out to some bar and grill. You know, and they have, you know, lunch and things to get to know each other. We learn, Jennifer lets us know that her first charge, she was set up.
Yeah.
It was a sting. You know, somebody called her and was like, yo, can I get some meth?
Can I buy an ounce of crack?
Yes. 2 cracks, please.
2 cracks.
$200, is that good enough?
Yes, that's perfect.
Pull up right over there. So, yeah, it was a sting. She was set up, and that's how she got caught up the first time. And Sydney is just learning about all this drug use and shit, and she's saying all the worst things you could say to somebody, like, oh my God, wow. And all bug-eyed while she's trying to eat this gargantuan burger.
She's like also super judgy because Jennifer Siwa asked for a cigarette when she got out. And she was like, oh, I just find that to be like, you know, I don't know, maybe not a good sign for you asking for a stimulant right out. Girl, I think they can smoke cigarettes in fucking prison. Like, that's generally what people who are sober do.
Right. And if we're being judgy, bitch, you the one that got all the health problems and you supplying the cigarettes. So
And
I don't
bitch,
understand.
I know that whole car smells like cigarettes. You think that bitch, you smell like a cigarette. You think that bitch is not going to ask you for a fucking cigarette when she gets out? You're like, no, I don't think that's a good idea for you to have one of these. Like, get the fuck out of here.
So then Cindy turns heel. All of a sudden, she crazy. So she goes and says, she expects her to be the maid and her assistant and pay rent. Because she goes and was like, are you thinking this is like a free ride? Or, and Jennifer like takes it back and she's like, no, but I know I need to get me right first before I can take care of somebody else.
But I need you to wash me baseboards and take up my floorboards. Like,
and Cindy and Jennifer's like, we never discussed this. She's made it seem pretty chill that, you know, like, yes, I'll help around the house, meaning like, you know, I'll clean up after myself.
Also, you know? Fuck Richard, because Richard, when Cindy goes to the bathroom, Jennifer Siwa is like, so what's up? Like, what's up with this bitch? Because he was like, I mean, I think y'all gonna have some issues because he's like, she's a handful. Why would you suggest your homegirl go live there then? if you know your other homegirl is a problem. Unless she just didn't have no other options. Maybe that's what it was. But he was like, yeah, but you should have told her ahead of time. Now, listen, I'm offering you this because you don't have no other options, but I'm going to tell you right now, she's a handful. But this seems like it's his first time putting her on that she's a handful. Richard, you ain't right, but also Richard ain't right. So, yeah. But she wants her to, chim chiroo her whole fucking house. She's like, I need you to take me leg off and wash me leg stub, and then I need you to place me leg back on.
Wash it harder.
And then I need you to paint me house on the outside, and then you're gonna go clean the outhouse. Like she is ready for her to get to work.
Yeah. So they leave the little bar and grill, and Jennifer's like, oh, fuck, what did I get into? But she's like, all right, it's too late now, let's, whatever. So the original plan was they're about to go, take a pit stop to go pick up Jennifer's car at her family's crib, at her stuff, and then so she can go to Cindy's house and get comfortable and all that shit or whatever. They don't. And they're very shady about their reasoning why. They're like, we can't because Richard has something to do. And Jennifer was like,
he got to go to work.
Yeah. And Jennifer was like, the whole point of us doing all, why didn't y'all tell me this up front? Y'all could have said this when we first met up. Why didn't you say anything? And she's very upset about it. And Cindy is like, she just got out of the prison. I don't see why she has the right to be upset.
And that's my problem through this whole program is that mentality about how people don't have the right to ask for certain things or don't have the right to move certain ways because they just got out. These people were not out and paroled to halfway houses. These people are adults who do need to acclimate back into society, but they are not moving into their parents' homes. And you don't ever treat any human being like you need to be grateful for whatever you get from me. I don't owe you an explanation on anything because I'm doing this favor for you. That's the first thing that's going to make me want to leave, go get high, and get myself back because I don't need you holding shit over my head in that way. Not in that way. If I'm being an ungrateful shit, which we will talk about, then sure. But that whole idea of I don't have to explain nothing to you. I don't owe you this or that. Or I don't have to do any of those things. I don't have to give you any more than I have to give you because I'm already giving you the world. It's not cool.
Not at all. Not at all. So they get to Cindy's house, and Cindy's house looks, what did Mary Jones say in Precious? Looking crazy than a motherfucker.
It's filth fucking den.
Filth den. My God.
It's a
damn.
filth den. Oh, and nasty ass den of iniquity.
Jennifer and I had a meltdown.
Same.
I was melting down.
Everywhere she turned.
It was just disgusting. And then the next day, the cameraman is shady because they keep focusing on this gross, cancerous pan that is growing things that Cindy, non-traditional spelling, insists on cooking fatback in. Oh my gosh, it is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. It is growing.
It is not a seasoned cast iron. It had kinky twists.
Gross. Take a line down.
It had a white tongue. It was disgusting.
I've seen Waffle Houses be Michelin stars compared to that.
I'd lick off the floor before I ate out of that pan. No.
Oh my God. Oh my God. All that shit is what's living in Daniel, and that's why he has to go to fucking MRI and get a fucking colonoscopy every 3 weeks.
But Jennifer see why better than me because Mama's making breakfast. I wouldn't ate shit for her because as soon as she got down, she was like, it stinks in here. God damn. This is awful. Again, I know it smelled like dog pee and kitty litter and there ain't no cats. It smelled like all kinds of things, vitamins. And and they were showing the tapes with the flies all over.
With the flies.
Woo. But She's feeling anxious and vulnerable because she's in someone else's home. And there's a special kind of discomfort that you get and anxiety that builds when you're in a home that you are not comfortable in, that you're very uncomfortable in, and you can't leave right in that moment. I had that experience years ago. I was pregnant and I had to go to my cousin's. My cousin was like, come down to North Carolina with me overnight to go visit my other family. So I was like, okay. So we go. That's the first time I seen that truck full of Jigaboo dolls at the state fair. But and I think that's the first time I had a fried Twinkie. Phenomenal. But so we go to his relative's house. When I tell you the filth level, they had like multiple dogs. Nobody told me that ahead of time. Okay.
I'm getting uncomfortable. I'm getting queasy. Oh,
that's nasty.
It was so nasty that, and we were leaving the next day. I said, listen here, I need you. Like, I don't know how I'm going to sleep. So do you know how I slept? In all of my clothes with the jacket on top of the sheets like this. I am pregnant. And I had nowhere to go because at that point it was too late to try to get a hotel. We couldn't do anything but like literally wait out the night and literally leave first thing in the morning to get back. I was so uncomfortable. I wanted to cry. Like there is a discomfort. So imagine moving into a home and you have your immediate intuition kick up that says, I hate everything about this place right now. I felt so bad for her. I felt so bad. And then this bitch is cooking breakfast and touching this bacon with her hands and all the pieces of bread. And you know her hands smell like chihuahua. And her leg, her hands smell like her. And you know that leg be sweaty when she take it off. Like, I'm not even being... It's true. You know, I take my bra off, it's sweaty. Like, you know that leg be sweaty when she takes... So she got that on her hands and chihuahua and cigarette. And then she's touching the French toast and the bacon with her hands. So she says, you know, it's time for us to talk about some rules.
I'm sorry, like, because I still see it.
It's
like,
so
oh God, it's so disgusting.
Oh, that house was so. They had, and all their dogs were big. It was like Rottweilers and Doberman Pinschers, and they lived in the house. Do you know what that house smelled like?
No,
outlaw mud show shit.
Yeah.
Oh, it was wet and musty and doggy and
all right.
So Cindy decides she wants to talk about the rules while they sit down for breakfast. And the rules consist of the following: 9 p.m. curfew. No men overnight for the first 6 months. Very strange. And if you go to the store, you have to ask me if I need anything.
I laughed at that. Before you go out, ask me if I need something because I know you always gonna need a Butterfinger
every
on my
time I'm gonna need something when you leave. Can you bring me back a package of Takis? Because you saw her sitting down at the table while she was opening her mail or whatever the fuck she was doing, and that big ass movie bag of nerd ropes right there by her. Like, she's always gonna want something when you go to the store. This is a setup. So she's like, yeah, 9 p.m. curfew don't seem to sit well with me. Although I don't know what you're going to do in that town after 9 o'clock, Queen. But she's like, we're going to have to talk about, we need some wiggle room with this. Well, I don't like that you asking for wiggle room. Bitch.
Right.
What? I don't like that you asking for wiggle room. So let's say this. If you're going to be out past 9, I got to go with you. Jennifer Siwa is like, okay, all right. I've got to breathe. I need to get out of here right now. I'm about to
free Jen is my notes from like free Jennifer Siwa.
Okay. Like, she need a protest. Like, it is. This
she needs David on her side.
Progressive. I feel like he is a problem too. But at least he ain't give this nigga no rules like you gotta be back by 9 and you have to. He's just like, please don't use no drugs in my house and go to these protests with me.
Yeah.
And deal with the fact that I once upon a time was racist, but now it only lives on me like streaks on draws. So, Jennifer is caught off guard because they didn't talk about any of this on the phone. She's like, I don't know who this bitch is, but I don't like it.
Yeah. And so, Jennifer's like, maybe we can negotiate some things. And Cindy comes out her leg, and says to us, well, I don't believe she should have the right to negotiate anything because she just got out of prison. And she jumps to if you really have any issues with the rules, then maybe we can, discuss, moving somewhere else.
Yeah, it was very nasty, passive aggressive.
And so Jen Siwa's like, I need a cigarette. I need to inhale nicotine outside in the fresh air.
I have to go now. I have to leave. I have to go now.
Because otherwise I'm going to throw this bitch's leg down the garbage
at her.
disposal.
Oh.
So like none of us gonna be walking in this motherfucker.
Not a single soul. I'm gonna beat her with it.
Cindy becomes evil in an instant. She goes, Jen was like, she comes back in, she's like, I'm sorry, but this is starting to feel like you're my mom, and this is like the things that my mother used to do to me. And Cindy, in a soft, polite voice, she was like, I'm not controlling, I'm just caring, and wouldn't I think about your sons, and what would they think? Would you treat them the same way?
Villain. Monster in a horror movie.
And of course, Jen starts breaking down because it's like, bitch, how fucking dare you bring my kids into this? And she knows that I have to be on the right and straight and narrow because I need to get my kids back. And how dare you weaponize my kids against me?
Nasty work.
Nasty C word.
And she is Cindy Cunt. And she and smells like one. And she looks like that thing, like when she smiles, that thing, that thing that'd be like, the thing, the drawing. She looked like that. She's scary. She's frightening. And this is only turning more and more into a horror movie.
Free Jen.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Let's take a break and we'll be back with JNXT.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
I would like to thank the Sisters of the St. John Chapel in Alexandria, Virginia, for their support in my decision. The intent of this short book is for it to be used as a simple and direct guide in a time of great danger. I pray that this is merely a work of fiction.
And we're back. So we fast forward into time. And some shit some shit happened over the time that we recorded.
Did it?
Yes. So unfortunately, Representative Jamal Bowman lost the election to a quote unquote well-meaning white man, a David, if you will, in this scenario, right?
I used to be racist.
Yes.
I don't work with the racist because I used to be one.
Yeah. So what's happening now is that the conservatives and racists and Project 25, which at some point we'll get into.
Yeah, we have to do a deep dive.
They have gotten quite sophisticated, which is why that scene from Newsroom was like, the Democrats suck because they always lose. But it's because the fact that Democrats are weak in general.
No, it's also the fact that Democrats are nothing but watered down or spicy Republicans.
Yeah, right. So, Jamal Bowman lost to George Latimer, who is declared Democrat, but he is very, very centrist, conservative leaning, and it was very backed by pro-Israel groups and other anti-whatever groups, right? So I just want to say, be mindful and do your research on as to who is backing whom.
Say it again.
Because this is also important when we talk about elections, because it's not just, and I know it's very difficult and it requires a lot of a lot of work, which and a lot of time, which some of us just don't have, right? I feel like a lot of times people don't participate in politics or voting or anything like that because of like it's too hard and blah 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 blah. But I will always say like this little bit of work and research will definitely set us up for a better future. You know, not just for you, but for your family. If you don't have kids, your homegirl or home day's kids, your nieces and nephews, you know, even you going forward, right?
Hello.
Like I was watching the news this morning and there was this elderly black woman who is 73 who's had to come out of retirement and go back to work because of the fact that inflation has gone awry,
Sky
right?
fucking high.
And so she's like, I don't think I'll ever be able to retire fully, you
That's
know,
what my
and
parents
enjoy
say.
things. Even and my mother and I had this conversation often. Partially because she's like, you know, I don't want to lose my mind, and I'm like, no, I get that. Being active is very different than actually working.
Yes,
but
and also being active and you know, to keep your mind busy is different from having to work.
Right. But we got into this conversation about finances and what that looks like. And she was like, I probably will at some point have to go and work part-time. And I was like, well, yeah, you know, unfortunately, you know, I'm not in a position to take care of my mother in that regard. I could take care of some bills for her, but I can't, you know, that's a whole human being. And this is, and then we got into a whole deeper conversation about stop wishing a kid on me because, or having this, like, I can't afford life. You know what I mean? Like barely. Right. And so having like, my heart goes out to you all with children in this world because it's like, it's hard enough to sustain individuals. And then you got to have a child who didn't ask to be here.
No, they didn't.
and is just trying to survive and make it and rely on you. And so it's just really disheartening all around. So I just want people to, you know, think about the future when it comes to doing the research on voting. But that's what I wanted to say about that.
Yes.
However, the next thing I'm going to tell you. So I was influenced yesterday. And I said I've been saying I'm going to do a deep dive, but I need to do more research because I know this is like cult related. Oh, yeah. I drank the Kool-Aid.
Okay,
yesterday.
I need you to get to the point because this...
So I watched a video with Kev on Stage and the host of Couple to Thruple, which is a wild show, which maybe at some point we can discuss. It's not a bad show. It actually has queer people on it in a way that we don't get to be showcased.
Okay, all right. I'll take that.
But you know, but still, it's a wild ass show. But they were talking about ridiculous prices of things and how Los Angeles is an unreal place. And so Kev on Stage was talking about the Hailey Bieber smoothie at Erewhon.
Oh, get it out of here.
And he was like, you know, it's stupid, but I bought it, but it was delicious. And I was like, okay. And they went on and ribbed about it, whatever. So then my homegirl, Nina Parker, you may have known her, host and all this good stuff. She posted about it and how it was delicious. And I was like, I don't know about Kev on Stage and this other man, but I trust Nina. So I got it. I'm going to show you, if you're on Patreon, you can see how much this motherfucker cost.
That's just for the motherfucking smoothie? Nigga, what does it have in it?
Hold on. I got
Baby walnut? What does it have in it? It better have some shit in it to fucking boost your credit score. Like, what is that?
There's a lot of ingredients. The official name for this is Hailey Bieber Strawberry Glaze Skin Smoothie. This contains milk, almond milk, Zuma Valley coconut cream, dates, vital proteins, vanilla collagen, Maple Valley maple syrup, banana, Erewhon sea moss, hyaluronic acid, Driscoll strawberries. It costs $22.75. And it has the following.
Well, let me describe it. It says, indulge in the luscious Hailey Bieber strawberry glazed skin smoothie. Made with creamy almond milk, organic strawberries, and avocado, it offers a delightful blend of textures and flavors.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm looking at this.
Mm-hmm.
Strawberries, banana, avocado, collagen, almond milk, dates, and sea moss gel.
And coconut cream and maple syrup and vanilla collagen, stevia.
Yuck. First of all, stop it. I hate stevia. I hate sugar alternatives. I want to light them on fire in a field. And I'm so glad the coffee shops don't have them stupid fucking pink and blue packets anymore of the sugar alternatives.
Oh, I use sugar alternatives.
What do you use? Stevia? Splenda?
Monk fruit. But if I'm
that's
I'll use
natural,
I'll use Splenda.
Yuck.
Like in my coffee. But I also drink Coke Zero and things, so I know that that's like a sugar alternative.
Okay, keep going with your fucking life-sucking smoothie.
Yeah. And it has, collagen stuff like that. And I had it, right? And I'm expecting my world to change, right?
I was like, did your nuts harden? Like, did they rise?
I expected to turn into, I don't know, like a check. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
I expected to be like money. When I tell you, I have never been more this was the baggy Maggie of smoothies. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you Google it if you don't know what that means.
If you don't know it, no, we're not talking about no chicken powder bouillon.
This was
which is on the boycott list, by the way, my Caribbeans.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Maggie is.
Which Maggie?
Maggie and Dettol. I was like, oh, the hood's about to go crazy.
Flatbush is about to just
what?
combust.
Spawn a nuke. Do you hear? They're like, no, Maggie, no, Dettol. What do you mean? I'm sorry.
But yeah, it was so mid. Like so mid.
Now, all of those things are very good for you, but I'm going to tell you right now, I keep a jar of sea moss gel and I put it in every smoothie I make every day. I take collagen. I've been diligent with my collagen, especially for the last month. So I have a powder form that you can put in a drink.
As we're getting older, it's so important to take the collagen. Instead of me going to get the, I'm going to just take the collagen. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I take collagen. It's good for your bones and your skin and all of those things. Make your own fucking smoothies at home. Yeah, I know that. It was just more of like,
you were influenced.
I was influenced.
You were I still to this day haven't had a cronut.
Oh, I hate those.
I'm not even like
And you don't even have to stand in line at the man's thing anymore because they sell them everywhere.
Nah, I just don't want one.
They're so dry. They're not delicious.
People were going too crazy for it, and I'm not a contrarian by any means. But I'm also like, when y'all go too crazy, when you start acting like that, I think they put something in it, and I don't want it.
No, that's fair. There's also this video, this like series on TikTok and Reels. This girl is going to places in New York City she feels is a drug front. So do you know that rice pudding place down on Spring Street?
Yes, it's been there forever. Rice to Riches or something.
Yes, I remember when it opened. Drug front.
Me too. It's a drug front. Oh my God.
That shit is
you
awful.
all made I did like the French toast.
Yeah, I liked one of them. I was like, oh, I did like the chocolate. I was like, this is fun.
It's a drug front.
Well, they're assuming it is because nobody goes in there.
No, you're right.
It's probably you and I were the last people that went in there 10 years ago.
They probably running numbers out the back.
It's not too far from that area that would.
I'm saying. And they like to gamble.
They do.
They love to gamble. They buy the bus loads. Do you hear me? Like, like they love to gamble.
Yeah.
So it tracks. It tracks. They probably running numbers out the back. Like they be doing. No, don't do that, Jade.
No.
I was about to dry snitch by accident. No, I want y'all to gamble in peace, get your monies. But them I don't care because they're not black owned. But I had to stop myself.
But yeah, that was what happened since we last recorded part 1 of this episode. Are you ready to dive back into Inmate to Roommate?
I am.
So let's go with Pastor Guy Fieri and his wife and Mickey.
Oh yes, Jim, or as I call it, AKA, is he Mexican? And Marisol.
Yeah, no, he's Pastor Guy Fieri to me. If Guy Fieri was a Bible thumper,
y'all, he is pastor of the Fresh Start. I don't know if they're Pentecostal. I don't know.
I have something problematic to say when it comes to
them speaking in tongues.
Oh, I was gonna get to that, but it's just white people in church. I
know. It's a tricky thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, who is your God?
Because what threw me off was when Guy Fieri walked up and like lit the two
I said, pits. What in the literal hell is going on right now? This nigga, no. Okay, so for everybody who watched the Kendrick, watched Gangchella, Kendrick and Friends, phenomenal festival.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
If I wanted, the problem was getting tickets because Ticketmaster, I can't wait until the government takes them down. Now that's something I'm voting for.
Oh my God. I cannot wait for the documentary, but I cannot wait. But go ahead.
No, because I tried to get tickets to go to Hatechella, but it was like 6-hour wait time, and I was like, absolutely not. I don't care that much.
I would have definitely gone. But for those who watched, outside of the astonishing 5-time Not Like Us performance, and then technically 6 times because of him walking out to it as well.
A Peabody award-winning performance.
Peabody award-winning bullying. The greatest display of bullying that I've ever seen in my life. I didn't think I would see too many new things in my life. I saw the greatest display of bullying that I've ever seen. And while I don't believe in bullying, in this particular case, I do. But remember that Kendrick was performing, with pyrotechnics. You know what I'm saying? Second time, blazing a fire on either side of him as he started this flames-ass song yet again.
Psst, I see dead people. Mustard on a beat, how deep, bro. Any rap nigga, he a freak, though. Man down, call an ambulance, tell him breathe, bro. Nail a nigga to the cross.
This is what this man was walking through to go into the Fresh Start Church, denomination unknown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Jim and Marisol, they're both pastors of this recovery program that they've turned into a ministry. And I got to be honest.
Rock House Ministries and Programs.
Right. So, they are, because I guess this is a low-key ministry work for them. And like in theory, this is ideal, right? They've rescued people. They have, providing them resources for recovery for whatever substance use that they're, of their choosing. And providing them a space to help recover, right? Purple Hearts, all of that.
Yeah.
But they're taking in Mickey, who is 43, serving 10 months. He's got a lot of shit that they don't know. Mm-hmm. Here we are again. Mm-hmm. They don't know too much about Mickey.
Can I be honest with you?
Mm-hmm.
The conversation that we just did not have about white churches.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about white ministry in general. White ministry, I am so wary of. And when you start throwing in people's habits and addictions and mixing it up with whatever your Lord is, your Lord, because it's not the same as, Some of these niggas lords, but not all of them. When you start mixing it in like that, like cement and water, I don't like that because I feel there's something disingenuous about it, and there's something that's ego feeding, and you're not really getting to the root of these people's addiction issues. You just
I don't believe in the Salvation Army.
No, they're terrible organization. I can't wait for them to come down too. Take them down. Red Cross, Salvation Army, White Ministries, like take it all down.
I agree with you 100%, 110%, because it's predatory in a way.
It's very predatory. All those fucking white missionaries in fucking Africa, get them out of here. I fucking hate that shit. I hate it.
Now, I will say, because what happened in here, his parishioners were a little real. They were like, so
they were.
Pastor Jim Fury was telling his congregation that he's letting somebody from jail move in, and every one of them motherfuckers was like, yikes, wait a minute. You don't know what every misfit in that motherfucker was like, now hold on, Jim. Yeah.
It was like the Lost Boys of addicts, and they all piped up. Pipe it up. They all piped up. It was like, absolutely not, nigga. That's a terrible idea. He's gonna rob you and Marisol.
Stay woke.
Like what you like, nigga? You only let us in the church. Like what you mean? He's coming to live with you.
Yeah, all them white folks were like, I don't know, bro.
Now, Mickey's 43. Mickey looks 63, but he's 43.
And he too looks like a cult leader.
Absolutely. He's been locked up this time for 10 months for failure to appear, driving with a revoked license, and evading arrest. Hold that, because you're right. So that is kind of like the background on Mickey, but he's been in and out of jail for the past 9 years. They talk on video chat for the very first time, which is strange to me. He was on the run. They find out he was on the run for 2 years. They had no clue. And if he runs this time after living with them and gets caught, he's getting an automatic 21 years.
Now, what I did not like was that when they had technical issues with the video chat and he got frustrated, all of a sudden, Pastor Jim Fury and Marisol were like, that's a sign of him of anger issues, and we don't know, and like, don't pathologize him. Just like anybody who has tech issues, like they're gonna get frustrated. That doesn't mean that they're gonna go fucking use meth and like kill people. Like, you know what I mean?
Marisol is of a particular ethnic auntie ilk, whether it be Latina or black or whatever, where they get, that's why I said ethnic, where there is a dripping of respectability and whiteness all over it. And I didn't like your XD's right. So the video chat started fucking up, and immediately she's like, you see how he's getting irritated? That's aggressive behavior. That we need to look out for that. And I was like, girl, the video is fucking up. Like anybody.
They believe in Texas Christ, what we talked about earlier.
Exactly. 3 big crosses in a field. Like, yes.
2 different types of Jesus.
There are different Jesuses on this earth. Okay. And while it's not my ministry, y'all's Jesus is really not my nigga like that at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know who that is.
That's Ron DeSantis.
Indie nigga.
It's Ron DeSantis is who it is.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
I don't know your Lord. Okay.
Like, never heard of him.
I know my nigga's Lord. I go in their church and I be like, respect. Your Lord? No, I don't know that nigga like that. He's a used car salesman.
He's Danny DeVito and Matilda.
Okay, hello. I got the adoption papers right here. Hang that nigga.
I tell you, Matilda was mad.
Okay, she's like, I got the adoption papers.
You can adopt me.
Look, I don't have time for all these legalities.
1 second, Dad. I have the adoption papers. What? Hey, where'd you get those? From a book in the library. I've had them since I was big enough to Xerox. Are you hearing this, Harry? All you have to do is sign them.
Here on site. All you've got to do, I filled it. All you got to do is sign.
You might need to watch that on ABC.
Yeah, I think so.
That is a film.
I think so.
So, anywho, we learn off camera that Mickey has charges in 2 other counties.
Mm-hmm.
And so he needs to resolve those before, he gets out.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple days later, Jim Fury and Marisol, they're getting up, having their morning coffee, Stan's brushing their teeth, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to go pick up Mickey from jail.
Mm-hmm.
So they get to the sheriff's office and they're like, we're here to pick up Mickey, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, okay. Well, let me tell you something. He not getting out right now because he got court.
Yeah.
He got e-court.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know when that's going to happen. And so they were like, okay, so what is he really in for? And gossipy sheriff decides to let them know everything. He was like, well, he's been on the run. He assaulted a police officer. He was a character and set it off.
He's like, he stole some chicken and ran down the street with it.
Yeah, Mickey's a wild one. I'm not going to hold you. But again, why don't you all know this? And also, all of this is easily found on the internet.
Yes.
Like when I used to do background checks for people for like getting into like apartments and stuff, like there's websites that are just, you can Google them and it's all public information.
Yep. I know what I got a nigga to look out for in the building next door.
See?
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta watch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they're like, we feel like we've been lied to. And it was like, oh, you weren't lied to. You just didn't do your research.
Yeah, and you didn't ask the right questions. And that's on you. You don't want to offer up your crib and then ask this nigga what all his charges were. So why the fuck is he going to come out of... He told you evading arrest. He summed it up. Yeah. And plenty of niggas also get hit with other warrants and stuff that they didn't know about when they about to get out. So stop acting like he was just holding information from you. Like him not telling you he's not getting out for 2 weeks is not benefiting him in any kind of way. Like he's getting out in 2 weeks. They're going to be a problem. And
me too. I was thoroughly annoyed. So like they go in the car and they wait for like 5 hours for him to finish e-court or whatever. They could have went the fuck home because it's not like they live far.
Yeah.
And so they come back in after 5 hours of the parking lot, and the sheriff was like, "Oh no, that nigga not getting out today."
Yep, it's not. His court date was pushed 2 weeks.
And even then, not sure if he gonna get out then.
Yeah. So
this makes me wonder again, because remember we have like 3 more people to go to be introduced to on this show. Because they were like 9. And I'm like, that's a lot of motherfuckers here. But we see Timothy McVeigh done got arrested, after a day, not even making it a day with
Charlottesville,
Kathy and Daniel.
I know.
So something tells me that this may not work out.
We will see. We will see. I think we should move on. Or should we take a break, actually?
Yeah, let's take a break, and we'll be back after these messages. Hit it, Claude.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
All it took was Grimace. So since Grimace threw out the first pitch at a Mets game as some silly promotion, the Mets are 5-0. They've won 8 of their last 10. They're actually clicking now. All the pieces that you thought were going to be a potential wild card team. Peter Lott.
And we're black. We are covering Inmate to Roommate, season 2. Next up, we have
I know.
I don't know, King I thrive on chaos.
I thrive on
I'm
chaos.
Good at it.
Yeah.
That's all I can.
Yeah.
He looks like Invader Zim. I don't know.
Yes, he does.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to the creative Invader Zim. He went to my high school. Fun fact. Yeah.
And Emily, aka AJ number, aka
Rosie the Riveter.
How old do I look? AKA Arrested
Norma
Development, aka Norma Ray.
She is of the union label, okay?
Yeah, she is. She's like, I work for her. She said, I don't like to tell people my age because I want them to guess. Girl, you're 53.
Yeah, you are.
And I'm being
put
generous. See? And I'm being generous.
Yeah.
She is a steel worker in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Teamster.
Okay, girl boss. She's a steel worker in Minneapolis, and Jason is 50. He's been locked up for 3.5 years for second-degree drug possession, financial fraud. He is a self-proclaimed master manipulator and financial fraud genius. And
I thrive on chaos,
his
and
quote,
I'm good at it.
And I'm good at it.
Chaos reigns.
So now this is why it gets real stupid, because in 2008
this story I made me laugh because production was even like, bitch, what is your
exactly
problem?
Like they intervened in a way they didn't even need to. And in 2008, Emily's identity was stolen to the point where her life has not been the same, to the point where her working in a steel mill is literally because her identity was stolen. Now, I don't know, like, did she just like let it go? Did she not do the fight? I don't know. But her identity was stolen. So she is getting an inmate to move in with her as her roommate because money is tight. That was dripping with stupid all over it. First and foremost, you got a nigga who is in jail for financial fraud. You got your whole identity stolen to the point where now you are working in 1932. And you don't ask any questions to this man. And how much money do you think he's going to contribute as your roommate to the household if he's straight out the clink?
That's what pissed me off about Cindy non-traditional best spelling, because like, what do you like? Do you like pay your way? They just got released. What do you?
And in a town of 62, where the fuck is Jennifer about to work immediately out the gate? Everybody has a job already. They don't need no more.
Yeah.
So she's getting a roommate literally to help her financially, but your roommate is is somebody who's literally just getting out and does not have any income and is probably gonna have to pay restitution as well. So what are you doing? Your decision, I feel like you got your identity stolen because of how fucking stupid you are.
Yeah.
So he's a master manipulator. His mother doesn't agree with his lifestyle, whatever that means.
I think it's because he's a criminal. Because at first I thought he was, but that is
not it. Yeah. He has a very long rap sheet, CVS receipt of financial fraud, and has admitted that he can easily manipulate Emily.
Mm-hmm.
Like he said,
even I could see it.
Yes. Hello, Noah can easily manipulate her. She's a fucking idiot.
Don't know how she stands up without a spine.
I don't.
So odd.
Every time it takes me down, and I just imagine spaghetti. She is a self-proclaimed trusting person. And
that's a mental illness.
It is. Her friend is the one who recommended for him to come live with her. Who he was supposed to go live with the friend, but the friend's daughter all of a sudden had to move into the crib. And now she's like, hey, Emily, can he come live with you? That sounds like that friend set her up too. You see how she got nothing but snakes around her, and she's not bright.
There's people in your circle that are praying against you.
The call is inside the house.
Oh,
so she does know that identity theft is one of his charges, but she does not know the degree to his financial manipulation. And she's still down for him to come because, in her words, she's desperate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they talk about rules and things
immediately.
And,
out the door.
He gets released and they're already bumping heads.
Yeah.
She's like, I work at night because, union. And so he's like, okay, cool. And she's like, no, women in the house and, standard issue rules. And he's like,
yeah, that could be negotiated.
We could negotiate that. She's like, I guess. No, but anyway, she go to work and he's clearly next episode, he is inviting like a whole ass orgy in the crib while she is,
which is not the only orgy mentioned. It's not even, they don't say it's an orgy. But
no.
Let's move on to the next couple, the very last one, because
we have to take one more break.
Oh, do we? We just took one.
Well, I guess we could push through.
Let's just close it out.
Okay. Well, last but not least.
Oh.
And this is what I called you after the first episode I watched. And I was like, we have never experienced this before.
No, not in this way.
Yeah. So our very, very first grouping we come across on this show is Veda and Annalisa.
Grimace and Jazzy Lopes is what I call them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Grimace and Gwen, because that should be her name.
Her name should be Gwen or Cheryl. Cheryl.
Yeah. And
Michael.
Nigga.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like he is just he is a stereotype.
Ooh.
Mark is. Like, I don't know how to
I think he's a Gen Z stereotype. He's a nigga stereotype. He's
California black stereotype.
Yeah, it was like he's a Pacific Northwest nigga stereotype. He's so many things.
Yeah, he is stereotype. Grimace, Gwen, and stereotype. That's what we'll go with.
Yeah.
And I'm always fascinated when we meet blacks from Seattle.
I know.
And I know my bestie Brandon is from Seattle. And every time I look at him, I'm like, you're from Seattle. That's so funny to me.
It's so weird.
Yeah. But then I remember Jackie Christie is from Seattle. So this also makes sense to me.
Okay. Because Gwen... We are not calling her Anna. First of all, Annalisa is it's the stupidest name for her when you see her, okay? This bitch name is Deborah, Cheryl, Gwen, Belinda. Like, it is not Annalisa. It's not Annalisa.
No.
Or you call her Jazzy Lopes because her earrings be...
And I know she went to some sort of like festival that my mama be going to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And be buying nigga accoutrement.
Yeah.
Did I tell you? So my mother took me to this African American like bazaar in Sacramento that they have. They have a whole African American center in Sacramento, which was so fascinating to me. And I specifically say African American.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot of like Sankofa and like all that stuff, right? So we go to this bazaar and they have a lot of handmade products. Of course, there's, palm soap in a tub and shea butter in a tub or whatever. And so they also have like little stores or whatever inside the center. So we go into this one shop and they have all the things that Gwen would purchase. They have these jazzy earrings, a lot of shirts with sayings on them with like the equivalent of a head shake and finger wave type of thing. And when I tell you, my mother went ham.
Oh, got her life. I know she did.
My mother, and of course, I obliged and I contributed to it because I'm going to support Black-owned businesses.
Absolutely.
And my mother, it was, I support my mother's tackiness sometimes. So I bought her this clutch that was like very similar to what Madeline had on the show in 90 Day Fiance with the money clutch.
Yes,
but it has Harriet Tubman on the dollar bill side.
Yes, it does.
So I purchased that for my mother. Yes,
I and you know what? There's something very endearing about Black Auntie tackiness. And I feel like I'm gonna have to lean more into it. You know what I'm saying? As I get older, because I have to keep this
Keep
alive.
our recipes alive.
Yeah, very much so. So it's, I already love wicker and rattan, but I feel like I have good taste. But I think I'm gonna have to lean. I might have to I'm not getting Obama in a frame because that nigga can't come in my house. He is a war criminal as well.
Absolutely.
But I will get a Sankofa bird for certain. Yes, I love what Sankofa means anyway. So it will just, I will into the aesthetic and then also be meaningful and intentional.
You need to have a wooden ankh on your doorway. That's what you need.
Yeah.
You could be that, auntie. But yes, a lot of shirts with sayings on them.
I told you I'm already, like our next car, nigga, I'm getting the beaded seats. Beaded seat covers.
I need to get one for this fucking chair.
Truly.
Shit, see what happens.
Okay. Backs was straighter then.
Okay. So Auntie Gwen and Grimace, they are battle axes, but meant for each other.
They house smell like pork chop grease.
And fish grease.
It just smell like fish grease. Fish grease and mulberry potpourri.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Or the money tree.
Yes, right.
With the Native American on the thing and the purple can.
Yeah, that doesn't last.
Talk about it's a blessing. No, it's not.
It's not.
Not if it's for fucking Walgreens.
Okay, with a fake indigenous person on the front of it, please, yeah. With your Land O'Lakes butter.
So yes, Veda and Annalisa, they met back in 99 and they've been together ever since. Annalisa, or Gwen, has a daughter named Deja, non-traditional spelling, which we'll get to in a minute. So they're taking in a gentleman named Mark, who we decided to call him Stereotype. Strong. Oh, I'm doing a lot of heavy lifting here.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's 25. And a menace to society.
Yeah.
He's serving 7 years for robbery and a firearm possession.
Yes.
He feels as though as soon as he gets out, he's about to turn up. I don't know what type of turning up you can do in where Fraser Crane lives, but that's just...
Well, we find out what his version of...
Yeah.
Now, they're
white women in song.
Exactly. Their relationship, so we'll call him. We're calling him
Cardio.
Yep. Has an uncle named Pee-wee. And Pee-wee asked Grimace to take care of his family if something happens to him. I wish they would have stopped saying family because that's so broad. So I'm like, did he ask you to take care of his wayward ass nephew or...
Make sure his daughter niece is taken care of and all that good stuff.
So they want to honor Pee-wee's request.
Do they get a check for this?
Like foster care? I don't.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Because in the previews, I remember Gwen talking about like they were doing this for like a check or something, and I know it's not the check from production because they don't get paid much, which is also Matt Sharp. We should discuss. And
let's see.
And is it only, and have you noticed that we have an influx of people from Minnesota? I know they're in Seattle, but you know what I mean?
I know. Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, is there some sort of new filming something in Minnesota? Like, is there some sort of giant tax break or
probably,
or, some kind, because there's a lot of Minnesota happening. I did notice that. And I wasn't sure what let's see. But then also I wonder, it's
if
all
this is
Matt
where the
Sharp
programs are.
Right. Like Matt Sharp Entertainment, that's where the Target headquarters is. Matt Sharp Entertainment. I don't know. Yeah, it is. It's in Minnesota. It's in Minneapolis.
I didn't know that.
So I don't know what the deal is with Minnesota, but I was like, why do we have like 3 or 4 different I don't know what else to call them, couples, but
roommates.
Yeah, why do we have like 3 or 4 roommates like specifically from Minnesota? I'm wondering about that. You know how like Atlanta got some filming shit or whatever, so that's why so many people film there now. I don't know. I don't know if that's the same thing here. But they're in Seattle, which you constantly forget because they are so black. They are very And I know
Southern
somebody from
black.
Seattle right now. It's like, hey, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
I know two niggas from Seattle.
This is literally my own assumptions. Don't take me on.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know about Seattle.
But,
I know that the native Oregon people, when I was out in Portland, like, were different than niggas I've ever lived around. I'm
They
tell you that.
also crack is also legal there.
No,
So
these were sober niggas, but they didn't like look you in the eyes, head nod, speak when they passed, like nothing. It was yeah, and I'm not the first black who's gone out there or moved out there who made mention of this. It's a very interesting dynamic.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a YouTube video about
we should do a deep dive into other blacks.
Yeah.
The other blacks. Ooh,
The Other
documentary
Blacks.
by Jaded
Yeah.
XT.
Yeah. Hulu, holla at us.
Hello.
So Gwen is a specific type of auntie black. She is cantankerous.
Yeah.
She wears HR coordinator clothing around the home.
Around the house.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's so interesting. Gwen's daughter comes in, Deja, non-traditional spelling, who I
First of all,
refer
that girl's
to as
name is Deandra.
No, it's Deja, Dehjah.
No, they say it's Deandra.
It's Deja.
Okay,
Either way, I call her Goo throughout the whole thing.
Why do you do that to Goo? That's not right to Goo. This girl's attitude is.
Yeah. Okay, well, she's the less saved Goo. I will say that.
Okay, all right, I'll take it.
Because even though Goo not all the
I
way
called her Charming Charlie's because Deja had on all the accessories.
Oh yeah, mall.
Yeah. How do y'all be
Mall.
putting lashes on like a Wednesday? Y'all just be putting lashes on during the week? Like,
People be having their after 9 lashes on before 9. Like, that's crazy.
because she told the people, she was like, y'all sweat my eyelashes off. And I was like, why do you have eyelashes on? It's like Thursday at 2 p.m.
Maybe they're permanent or semi-permanent. You know, she probably got them done for this filming.
true.
You know, because she was like, I'm not going to look a fool on camera.
Charming Charlie's
typical.
Charming Charlie's is a strip queen. She's not going to go get no individual lashes put in. Not with that wig.
Perhaps. Different people have different things, right? Like, hey, niggas in Seattle were going all the way to Tacoma for have Rachel Dolezal to braid their hair. So I don't really know what goes
we got
on
to do
the
a deep
Pacific
dive into the
Northwest.
other blacks. We got to do a deep dive because
I don't know.
I
I'm
will
so confused.
learn how to braid my own hair first with my feet before I will go to Rachel Dolezal to get my hair done.
And white people, I know y'all think all black people the same. We just like you white folks. You got different kind of white folks. You got honkies, you got crackers, you got rednecks, you got white guys.
Yeah. So, Deja and the rest of Gwen, their family and friends come over. It's like a moo convention.
Yeah.
They have like a whole bunch of niggas coming over for fried fish and cantankerous conversation.
Yeah, it sounds like Phaedra and her mother.
Yeah. So one of the niggas was like, he go come in here and steal pots and pans and shit. I was like, it's not like he's on crack.
Right. Like, nigga, nobody. Right.
Like, what?
And like actively on crack, like high on crack to be stealing pots and pans.
Yeah, that's so
Niggas
weird.
have better things to steal. Grow up.
Right. So ER calls. Calls and like they're all trying to get to know him or whatever. And Deja answers the phone. And of course he starts flirting with her because, you know, he has no couth or like.
And contrary to her little spicy ass mouth, she was flattered as fuck.
Oh, absolutely.
Mama was like, but she had to try to act like she wasn't. Mama was flattered
Because she was
as
in front of her mama.
Mama was flattered as fuck. Caught her off guard, but she was flattered.
Mm-hmm. And Gwen does not like this business whatsoever. So the next day or whatever, they're going to go pick up ER, and Deja's like, "Are you excited?" She's like, "No." Because Gwen is just a battle axe, right? She is just difficult.
She is.
I don't know how Veda
all
does
the
it.
stuff that they say about black women and we get mad about it. She is. We be like, I'm not that. I'm not, but she is.
She is. She too is a stereotype.
And so is her daughter when she raised her.
Yes, and so is Veda, ineffective nigga.
Grimace is a very ineffective nigga. He is Evelyn fucking Braxton. We will get to that.
He has way too much hope. So, anywho, they're driving
The
to go
audacity
get them, and Anna, Gwen does not want to do this. She is just, I'm only doing this because my nigga wants to honor whatever the fuck blood oath he got with this nigga Pee Wee. And so whatever, right? So Mark gets out.
Yep.
And he's respectful for about 30 seconds. You know, he's grateful and all this good stuff. And so they're about to leave and a car pulls up next to them. And it's a bevy of white bitches.
From Euphoria.
Yes. Like a truckload of hot Cheeto girls.
Yeah. They were, yes, that's exactly what it was. It was every extra that would be in the background of a house party on Euphoria was in this Altima, in this white Altima. A bunch of smelly white bitches. I can't even come up with nothing more. It's like, this is literally a gaggle of smelly white bitches and a Mexican girl. Like, with brown lip liner on. Very infuriating.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's bad.
They were hot Cheeto girls. It was very like, it's giving, it was all, they all talk like B. Simone. Drive You Nuts, and they would have all like ganged up and fought Cassie on Euphoria or something. But they pull up because he had plans. They were late. They were supposed to be there earlier. He had been promised a menage a boogie in the parking lot in that raggedy ass Altima before Gwen and Grimace show up to pick him up. So it's awkward when they roll up.
It's hella awkward for everybody involved. And what do? They all go out to lunch.
They better than me.
Hell no. I would have left that nigga there with them.
I am not sitting at a restaurant with you all.
No.
No. Absolutely not.
So, episode 2. Because they are in every episode, rightfully so, because they are the entertainment of it all. So ER invites the white spider monkeys to eat with them, and
we should just call them Talladega Nights.
yeah. Grimace and Gwen are fuming at this table. As they should, and Deja, their daughter, is the one that asks the hard-hitting questions, like, what are your intentions? Like, what are you doing here? And ER is very smug about this whole thing.
So that's where I was like, Gwen is like a big on old school respectability politics, which is rough because he's an asshole. Because there does have to be a level of respect, but the way that she was verbalizing it was completely wrong. But it makes it hard to be on her side for any of that because he's such a fucking dickhead.
Yeah, because it's like, I was wrestling. I'm like, she's not entirely wrong. Her approach is wrong, but how do you navigate that approach with someone who's such an asshole? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, and they're like out assholing each other.
Yeah, it's an asshole. It's a hold off.
I was like, I can't be on anybody's side. I want you all to eat each other like beta fish.
Yeah, I am the only person I'm on the side of is Joe and Rich, which we'll meet in a second.
Yes. Now, the only time that I did laugh at him have anything is when he walked in and he said to the production, "This house stinks."
Because I know it did.
Because I know it smelled like fried fish, pork chop grease, and mulberry potpourri. Bad combination.
West Valley neighborhoods say a disturbing smell got them thinking something wasn't right.
That's when neighbors reached out to us, desperate for help. When you ask, we investigate. Action News reporter Stephanie Zeppelin joins us now in studio with the story. Stephanie.
Yeah, Trisha, Steve, the folks on Bryce Rose Avenue say their new neighbor was never around much, but when they stopped seeing him for several weeks, they feared the worst, and they were right.
Right. So, they're still at luncheon, and he's just trying to live and stuff and get acclimated. And so, and of course, Annalise is just being judgy as hell. And Veda isn't saying anything. He's not okay, Marguerite.
No, Grimace
he's
is
not
useless.
doing nothing.
No.
He's just sitting there eating his fucking pancakes.
Yeah.
And while, Gwen and her daughter are just
spawning nukes.
Reaming into him.
Right. And she gave him an Obama bobbly head. So that should tell you the type of auntie she is.
Yeah. They get to the crib. Smells like, grits and other fried meats. And so, I know it smells like breakfast.
Yes, it smells like breakfast, but it's 4:30.
Yes, breakfast. BREFFIS. So of course, as soon as he gets there, he drops his stuff down, and Veda's like, well, I'm going to bed, like most old niggas do at 5 o'clock.
Yep.
Me. And Deja's like, all right, I'm out, because the white spider monkeys come inside the crib.
Oh my, which I was like, not you letting them in your home. Yuck.
Yeah, ew. I mean, I know your house is already filthy, but don't.
No, it's
don't
like
add
a wave
insult to
of
injury.
wet coming into your crib.
Yeah.
Yuck.
So
sitting on your couch. The cheeks out.
So he's trying to leave and go fuck on them white girls.
Yeah.
And Gwen is just trying to, have a conversation, get to know him and have an auntie talk, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm out.
Yeah.
So
you be easy.
Be easy. And of course, Gwen is feeling every type of way, right? Next day, Mark did not come home. He had a big fun with the wretched.
Okay. Literally.
Yeah. Big fun with the wretched. Now, the white girls have some sort of sense, right? They're like, aren't you worried you'll get kicked out? Because this has nothing to do with them. They're just making sure that he all right.
They also apparently either are homeless or don't live local because they don't have anywhere to stay. So when
I'm assuming Tacoma.
Okay. So when he comes back after being out all night, having big fun with the literal wretched, he asks Grimace and Gwen if Euphoria can stay at the house. It was three of them initially, but then it was just two of them. So he asked if the girls can sleep at the house. Grimace, he must think we some freaks. This not a saloon. This not a brothel.
Title of the episode.
Yep.
This is not a brothel.
This is not a brothel.
My favorite thing about Matt Sharp shows is it's how I watch Survivor when I try to figure out where's the title going to come in because I know it's a quote from the thing, but I didn't expect this.
This is not a saloon. This is not a brothel. Now, he asked if the girls can stay. Gwen is like, absolutely the fuck not. They've got to go. They cannot be around here. This is a hard hell no. And so the girls get very spicy as they leave.
They feel a little froggy.
They feel real froggy. Because I would have kicked that bitch in her ass as she was crossing my threshold.
I would have
down them fucking stairs. Do you hear me?
I would have threw the pot of grits I had on the stove.
Grimace, get my gun. I want to see them run like roaches to that fucking raggedy ass Ultima. We've got to go. And they call her a bitch. And they're like, that's why we want to sleep in your house anyway. It was very wild. It was very wild and very disrespectful.
I know Gwen's gonna show up in a dream of theirs.
She's going to haunt them when she dies for certain. She'd be like,
why? When she dies, she could do it now.
You know what?
Gwen
You're
is
right. She's trans, whatever.
That golden thing makes her ethereal.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
That bitch can move through time and space.
Them keys on her thing is access to
or the feathers on her earrings.
Astral plane. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
the bitch shake them earrings like I dream of Genie. And she get on the fucking business. I got work to do. Oh, episode 3. So okay, I think Grimace smokes a lot of weed. That old man smokes
more than us.
Okay,
and because he is way too cool for school.
Too fucking high. Like,
this nigga said the most wildest shit, and I laughed, but horribly laughed. He was like, Gwen is like, get her out of here, like annoyed with ER. Veda says the following: I'm going to give him 10 chances like they do in special ed.
Oh my God. The way that I screamed.
So yes, Veda said some wild shit about that. So anywho, Mark or Hardy R is trying to gaslight Gwen into the white girls to stay over, right? Like, so, you know, like, what kind of man would I be if I would allow these two women to go out where they don't have no place to live in these hard, cold, rough streets of Seattle?
Child, I was like, please.
And don't get me wrong, I don't want to just, like, I'm sure Seattle has rough
Everywhere
parts,
has a hood. Everywhere got a hood.
You know, it's just hard for me to digest.
Yeah, because we think of, you know, Birkenstocks and, you know, white people, you know, they carry blankets around with them and things like that.
Yeah. But I'm sure meth is a big deal up there.
I mean, if it is in Portland, I can imagine that ain't too far away. You know what I'm saying? So they probably got their own. And then you know, you got a wet environment with a whole bunch of white people that be sad. Like, what you think? What you think is going on? Like, yes, they're using drogas.
Yeah, it rains a lot, so of course they use.
Yeah.
So, Annalisa or Gwen is trying to lay down some rules, and she gives him an 11 o'clock curfew, and he's like, "Hell no!"
And it's only for 2 weeks to see if he can be trustworthy.
Well, at first it wasn't like that. It was just that was a hard stop at 11.
Oh, yeah.
And Veda was trying to level with him as a week. And then Gwen was like, nah, 2 weeks. And just so he can negotiate. However, Hardy R then found a way to sneak out the crib.
Yeah. But before that, actually, you know, with the run-in with the girls and him staying out all night, you know, with them before and all of that, the next day after, you know, they try to lay down the law and things are not working out, Grimace takes her out for mango ice mint hookah.
He's trying to relate to the youth.
Yeah. So they go, and I was like, does that special say $4.99 or $49.99? On the little thing that was on the table. I hate hookah spots so much.
I used to when I was a young warthog. Yeah, so like, you know, in San Jose, like there's not, it's a big city, but it's not a big city like LA or New York. So like as a teen, we didn't have many places to go, and so when I turned 18, they had like a hookah lounge that we could go to. And sometimes they had 18 and up parties or whatever, but we would go and we would smoke hookah. And when I was, you know, when you're a child, you do childish things.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know how the youth, like even the young people now, I can't even see the young people because there'd be people our age like, oh, I need a hookah. Like,
hello. All the Jamaicans I used to work with love going to the hookah lounge.
I don't, because it's not doing anything for me, but just cutting off circulation. And I feel a high because I'm not breathing real air.
It makes me nauseous.
Yeah, it's spicy nicotine, or flavored nicotine.
Yeah.
But sure.
Well, Grimace tries to be effective at the hookah lounge. He tells
Try to level with them.
Trying. He's like, listen, I need you to respect my wife and my crib. And respecting my crib means respecting my wife. And I need you to apologize to her because that was whack. Like, how you went about all that was whack. So I need you to do that. And please don't tell her I was smoking. So he goes right back into being ineffective. I'm like, why would you let this nigga hold a secret for you?
Because he's afraid of his wife.
He is. I know.
I'm afraid of her too.
And
because I know she is hell at work.
You know she is. You know she likes to CC people and run reports.
Oh, I know, Gwen. I like when
remember
I saw
that
her
bitch Nadia I used to work with at Hennessy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you bitch. I named you bitch. Remember that bitch Nadia? I feel like she is a black Nadia out there making somebody's life fucking hell unnecessarily. Like there are things that they can do to tweak, and instead of working with them, she just full blown attacks. I know I
just text you because I'm like, this is like same nigga.
Oh, that tracks.
Yeah.
Ooh. Is she still like that? Halfway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because when they like you, they still act like they don't.
Yeah.
Except like they'll teach you how to make a recipe or something.
That's exactly what happened.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I know this is not translating well because
I know, but if y'all pick up what we putting down.
We talk about a bitchy auntie, okay?
Yeah.
So everybody knows this person that we're talking about.
I'm just saying, she reminds me of one of my family members.
Yes.
That's all.
Same.
Yeah.
Come episode 4, right? So he's like, all right, bet I'll apologize. I respect the fact that you trying to like, hold your wife down or whatever. So I'll apologize. So come episode 4, she's breaking the fourth wall, right? Oh, no. That's what it is. Before episode 4, he gets back to the crib. He apologizes because Grimace asked him to, but it's not sincere. He's playing a long game.
Oh, chestnut checkers.
She thinks that he is the finesse king. She thinks she makes him a bowl of strawberries and blackberries and acts like he's never had fruit before in his life when she gives it to him. And,
according to his skin, it doesn't look like he's had it.
Or water. They sit down. She's like, I'm not trying to come down on you. I just need my house to not be a muck.
She made a point. She was like, there's niggas dying in the streets, and I don't really want that to happen.
I don't want that for you. So
fair.
He's, again, being completely insincere, but he's like, no, I get it. I understand. I appreciate it. He hugs her, and then he tells us in production, I hugged her, so she can think that I'm a decent young man. You know what I'm saying? He knows that he's rotten. Like, he is aware. He has self-awareness that he is a rotten person.
He too thrives on chaos and is very
absolutely. He is chaos. So come episode 4,
my nigga Joe and Rich.
Gwen's breaking the fourth wall and calls production in. She's like, he didn't come home last night and told me he's going to make some money. When I asked him how, he told me, don't worry about it. Now all of a sudden he's sick. And it is just full-blown chaos. They're showing production. This nigga's yelling. Is yelling about how he can't handle this and he's sick and he needs to go to the hospital. And she's tripping off of him being sick. And it's just chaos and negativity. Mm-hmm. Fast forward a couple hours later. He comes back and he definitely didn't go to the hospital.
He comes in with new shoes.
Exactly. Brand new, spanking white fucking sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
And production asked him what they said, and they said, come back another day. The hospital. That's what he said. They were like, so what'd the hospital say to you? He was like, they told me come back another day. The hospital's the last fucking resort.
Yeah.
Before the morgue in the cemetery. Yeah. And you mean to tell me the hospital has never told us. How is that the lie that you conjured up?
Yeah, like you not even smart. Like, you know what I mean? Like you were just
it's not that he's not smart. He doesn't give a fuck.
That's true.
He doesn't care.
Because it would have been easier if he would have just told production, oh, I lied to her, said I was sick or whatever, but I really went to, fuck on them white girls and rob somebody. Like, either those girls bought him sneakers or he robbed somebody for them sneakers.
Them girls robbed somebody for them sneakers for him.
Yeah. And of course, Gwen is asking, like, well, what hospital did you go to? What, where'd you go? And he's like, stop asking
me questions. Damn, bitch, get off my back.
Yeah. And so, he like bucks up and he's like, I don't want to be here. There's dog shit under my bed. And they're like, dog shit? What are you talking about? Like, no, we cleaned up for you, whatever.
He was like, no, you didn't. You didn't put no care into this. Y'all.
Friends, agents, new people listening. He's a lot of things. And he is a liar.
Yeah,
let's be clear.
Yeah.
In this particular moment, he was not wrong. She got on her hands and knees, and I laughed because I remembered Polly when she was talking about big people can't pray alone because they can't ever get up. And so, not my joke.
No.
Disney's. Debbie Allen wrote that.
Keisha Knight Pulliam said it.
Yeah. Miss Conley from the other lady from Amen said it.
Oh, it wasn't Keisha Knight Pulliam.
Yeah.
There was definitely dog shit under that bed. Wet chestnut, peanut butter colored dog shit. Not chestnut, peanut butter colored dog shit. It was disgusting.
And so they were like, oh. And then here come Gwen. Please don't put that on TV.
No, girl, they're putting that all over TV.
Yeah, highlighted, a part of the commercial.
Yeah,
promo material.
Well, I didn't like their response. Because right after they found it, Gwen is like, well, why didn't you clean it up? Bitch, because it's not my fucking dog. And then this is where it gets real nasty. She basically tells him you need to be grateful with whatever you get.
We've heard that before on this show.
I said, no, girl, that's not it. That's not it at all. These are still human beings. And while he is a shit, he's a big shit. You don't get to tell human beings that they have to live in whatever conditions you provide because they have it and they need to be grateful with whatever that is. That's whack. That's
hella whack.
That's really, really whack. Well, Grimace gets a backbone. He gets a spine with legs, and he starts spawning nukes, but not on on Gwen. I'm sick of this shit. Your attitude is nasty. You are badgering him to death. It's not going to solve anything. It's not going to make it. Like, you doing this is not getting ready to wear him down into being a better person. You're actually making the situation and much worse. Much worse. And she's taken aback. Well, I can't believe. And he's like, no. And I need you to go. Like, I need you to go find something to do so I can talk to this nigga.
Shut your fucking mouth. I am sick of your shit.
Yeah.
So Gwen goes. And this is where I'm like, I'm conflicted, right? Because is in your house being wild, disrespectful, but your wife is also being wretched. And I think he's trying to catch more bees with honey than vinegar. So when he sits him down, is like, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to talk about this shit. And he's like, no. I just want to talk to you. I want to encourage you. I know you think I'm about to come at you, but I want to encourage you. But he's not really trying to hear it, and so we don't get anywhere. And that's the last we leave off with them.
Like, I understand he's trying to relate to him because he understands that ER is who he is, and so he's trying to like reason with him, and because it's going to be very difficult for somebody who has been institutionalized that long.
Yeah.
And who already didn't have the proper
25, and he's been locked up for 7 years. Like, he has been locked up so many of his formative years.
Yeah, so I get that, and Veda understands that, and so like you said, you know, try to level with him and give him a little space because you know he's gonna fuck up because he's still childlike and developmental behaviors and stuff like that. But also, you got Big Diva over here.
She ain't no diva.
She is just, she likes her home a particular way and her family a particular way and things of that nature. And she thinks that she's infallible and can do no wrong because everybody in her life is afraid of her.
She was the type of mother who didn't apologize. She just told you, we're going to the movies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She what?
Put your shoes on. I'm going to take y'all to McDonald's. Boo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that's exactly it. Yeah, she is of a problematic ilk.
She is. And
so I get what Veda's trying to do, but also neither of them are equipped to handle ER. So
no, he needs to go, and I feel like that's coming very soon. But they were the most entertaining and the only ones that were in every single episode.
Yeah, and I think they I don't think they last long either because I remember in like the coming up this season they called the cops on him.
Oh like, yeah, even Grimace calls the cops on him. Like even Grimace is like, "Nah, fuck this." So
yeah,
I'm
he
curious
has to do something extremely egregious. I'm interested. Maybe he's running Shop Out They Bando.
Oh wow, perhaps.
Not like they would notice.
She would notice.
Fair enough.
She would notice. But this is the longest episode of Jada XD ever. If you made it all the way to the end, tweet. You can't tweet anybody.
Oh yes, you should. You should tweet Dustin
pictures
Rice
of
Krispie
Grimace.
Treats.
Pictures of Grimace.
Yeah, or Rice Krispie Treats. He hates Rice Krispie Treats.
Oh, does he? Does he hate?
Yes.
Oh, tweet him Rice Krispie Treats. Fuck the Grimace. Spam him with Rice Krispie fucking treats and tell him it's a gift from us. Jada XD said this is your favorite snack. Because his stupid ass called me last night when I took Noah to the movies and was like, he called me, so I sent him a text and I was like, I'll call you when I get back from the movies. He's like, I said, I took Noah to the movies. I'll call you afterwards. He was like, what y'all going to see? The Color Purple? Get off my fucking phone. So yeah, send his black ass Rice Krispie treats. I heard this was your favorite snack. Until next time, friends. We'll see you all later.
Bye.
Toodaloo.
Yes, we're moving on.